Hello, and welcome to Zaxria. We are back for another night at the Not So Round Table. Appreciate you tuning in. So, before we start, we have a giveaway. Once we reach 100 followers, you'll get a copy of Xanathar's Guide to Everything. If you're subscribing, you get a voucher for a mini from Hero Forge, custom mini. Also, thanking our most recent follower, speaking of that, Barbarian Boy. Thank you, appreciate it. Also, we are on TikTok now. I don't remember what the handle is. I think it might be D&D_Knights. I think that's it. D&D_Knights. But be sure to check out our TikTok too. It's pretty cool. Like Knights, how Knights at the Not So Round Table is. Nights. D&D_Knights. I was right. Other than that, I don't think we have anything else to discuss. So we're going to... So we're going to jump right into this episode here. Last we had left off, you made your way from the Redwoods of Venore into the Feywild, traveling via plane shift by Connor's will. You made your way into the Feywild where you were greeted by this kind of lush for Azrael and Trollonia, the two of you never having been to the Feywild, maybe hearing of it or having any sort of semblance of an idea of what it could be. Arrived to this lush forest that was not like a lush forest of green. It's this lush forest of almost kind of teals, light greens are in there, purples, oranges. The sky itself is in this kind of perpetual twilight, but it's not like this dark twilight. There's this hue of purplish pink that's kind of always in the air. Several moons that you can see in the sky. Lots of trees, flowers. The grass is tall and high. You made your way to some stone henges, which you discovered to be pylons of power of the Feywild. You could kind of feel the energy that was there, but in going there, Neris had gone to some sort of other place of consciousness where she met Myferia, who is to Neris is a descendant to that gives her the abilities and powers that she has. And this Myferia had told her of Dracul, who is this kind of dark and twisted, malformed and altered species secondary to a Wilch, which is this kind of serpentine creature that was once in the Feywild but no longer is after being killed off by these Blight Wilches, whom cultivated this Wilch root in the Feywild itself that was like super powerful for healing purposes, but ended up also having some sort of maddening effects to it had it been consumed or used on a Wilch, causing them to go into this kind of state of almost paranoia in a way, where they thought that they had to consume hearts in order to obtain power. And this Dracul individual thought that he needed to consume Neris's heart, which dives into a lot of her background stuff that we'll get through here in a second. But you guys found Dracul's hideout after dealing with some Darklings in a couple of encounters. Following them, you landed into this canopy kind of lair, if you would. There's a dense forestry that kind of surrounded it, causing this little dome shape to it. A throne of bones laid to the far side, where you watched Dracul slither out his long, kind of serpentine self. Eventually getting to the throne, he kind of went down towards this Darkling that had informed him of the arrival of you guys and that you were on your way, and ripped out its heart, consuming it in front of Zarvrax's very eyes and Trollonia's. You guys went back down and informed everybody. Went over and formulated some sort of a plan where Neris started using the forest around her in order to aid you in some sort of a way, causing the trees to pull in these Darklings into the forest, giving some sort of an even keel to the fight. Dracul himself, with the bow that he wielded, was quite powerful, but you were able to put an end to him. Zarvrax, in doing so, burying his very own hand into Dracul's chest after carving into it, ripping out his heart and chewing on it. Dracul falling to the ground and turning from this dark, sickly green to a now palish white, kind of skin scaly tones to him. You can see that the horns are still kind of gnarled, but one of them broken off by Zarvrax, along with a tooth that was pulled off. And at this point, now that combat has subsided, Neris has made her way over to the bow that lay beside Dracul's body. The blood still oozing from the chest wound where Zarvrax had torn out his heart. A peaceful serenity starts to take over the land. The once petrified marsh gains beautiful flowers, blossoming vibrant green moss amongst the trees that begin to grow leaves of vibrant yellows, purples, and greens. The canopy that was once above you opens up, as the trees almost start to stretch and reach towards the sky like they've been stuck in a position. A twilight beam of light breaking through like a spotlight as Neris picks up the bow. The spotlight growing as the canopy opens more. A surge of dust like this green and blue and purple magic bursts outward from Neris' hand where she's grasping the bow as it swirls around her and the bow itself. Neris feels this welcoming sort of energy coming from the bow as she's grasping it. You watch her take it up to her cheek and draw it back on the bluish-green bowstring that's there. And as you do, this wooden arrow starts to kind of twist and fabricate itself on the string with a swirl of this purplish-green energy. The arrow knocked. There's this power that you can see coursing through it as she lets it fly. And then this arrow flies off into the distance.
Don't have a plan.
Yes.
What?
Do you say it? I thought you said my
don't
name.
have a plan.
Oh, okay. So,
I'll dive in front of it.
as she shoots the arrow, she recedes the bow down, holding it in her hand before her. You can see around you that there is more to this lair than just at the end of that bone throne that's sitting there. It seems that there is some sort of a path that is behind it. Throne of Bones. Yeah. Yikes on the name there. I'm going to have to rebrand.
I'm trying really hard not to laugh, and then Duluth chuckle a little bit. There's just no way.
Sorry, bud. It's been 2 weeks.
Trollonia will go back and investigate behind the throne.
Okay.
So, you could. I don't know how much it'll impact it, but you could always flash back to what happens here, so you don't have to talk to yourself for 15 minutes.
That's a good idea.
I'm gonna loot everything, if there is anything to loot.
Okay, make an investigation check, and Trollonia make a perception check. And that is what we were going to do. Okay. I was going to do about 15 minutes or so of me communicating with myself in various different voices, one of them being Neris. However, we are going to hold that off until she gets back and do like a little bit of a flashback, so that will work. Good idea, Duluth.
Yeah, no, it just popped like in my head a few minutes ago.
So Ashley, if you're watching, look forward to coming back for that. We will do the flashback. That way you don't miss out on it.
I had a
14.
14.
17. Okay. Ander, you and Trollonia actually side by side begin walking back. Slowly, as you make your way back there, you can see that there are two different paths. The left path is the one that you are drawn to and that you walk towards, as the other one seems to be like this kind of small cavern, and you're not really sure if it has any sort of an end to it, really. So Trollonia walking that way, Ander, you just follow him in that direction. Taking the path on the left, you come upon what appears to be a nest. You don't see any eggs or anything. It just kind of looks like an area of refuge or anything for Drakal. There's a larger kind of cratered rock in the center with snake skin around it, like it's been shed. The ground itself is littered with bones that have been picked clean. You can see, though, that the Feywild around it is slowly starting to cover the bones with moss and flowers. You can see a skull that sits on the floor, and you watch a flower grow through the socket, and then moss covers it as if it was never there. You do see inside of here as well what looks to be some sort of a marshy bit of water that, Andrew, you walk over to and can see that there are 3 of these plants that look extremely rare, and 2 of them are actually kind of like wilting, and the one just looks like it's like on its last leg of being alive, but can be like pulled at the moment. As for you, Trollonia, like looking around in here, you don't see any like immediate danger or anything, and you're kind of captivated by the way that the nature and everything around here feels so alive, and you can kind of feel almost like the soul of the realm that you are in right now. Like everything is connected in some sort of way, and you can't physically see any lines connecting stuff, but you can almost feel the connections between the trees and the ground and the vines and the water and everything just being one cohesive thing.
I try to figure out what the plants are.
You sure can. Just roll a d20 and add your intelligence.
I did go to a plant class.
You
and
did?
have an alchemy book with me.
Can I
You
start
can add your
looking
proficiency too.
for a spot to like set up camp for the night, or like take a rest?
You're pretty confident like where you are right now would suffice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
20. What was it? What was the check?
D20 plus intelligence plus your proficiency.
Intelligence. Okay, it's 24.
Can you mute Norm's mic really quick while he does it?
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, okay, you're good. But still, just mute it for now.
24.
24. Okay. With the 24, looking at this plant, the brief explanations that you heard from Neris explaining wilt root, along with the way that it is sitting within this marsh, and the two that are next to it are just like wilted and died, and this is like just one bulb that's just kind of sitting here. You can see that there are a small set of strange like wooden shears, similar to the blades that you saw that the Darklings had, that has like this silver kind of blade on it, but it's more wooden than anything, like gnarled and petrified wood. There's these small little sets of shears that seem like they're used to possibly like cut and trim at something that Dracul may have been attempting to keep alive, but didn't seem like he was able to. But you can see that there is possibly intact one of, or the last wilt root. And you can see that the plant itself is probably about this high off of the water. The bulb is like this dull, glowing purple that faintly just kind of like pulses. And then you can see the flower petals as you get closer, they kind of slightly like open up. But they don't open up out this way. They kind of just like twist and open to reveal on the inside some sort of almost a thick paste that sits on the inside. And then as you're sitting there, it just kind of closes itself again. And then when there's twilight coming in, you watch as the sun that comes in. That's what's causing it to like kind of open up slightly when that twilight sort of light hits it.
Wilt root?
Wilt root.
I'm gonna call over Conrad, Moldrak, and Neris probably.
Okay.
Hey, I know we aren't supposed to like take anything from like the ground,
Yeah.
but like, you remember like we
What's
were
that?
talking about the plant. Like,
Mm-hmm.
forget that's the plant. The like wilt root.
That's the
thing.
wilt root?
Pretty sure.
You ever seen it before, Neris?
No. I mean, it sounds kind of close to the description we got, so...
Is there any way you think we could maybe like help it regrow or keep growing? Or should we just try to take it?
I'm not sure.
I think from the stories was that only the Welches could grow them.
It quite possibly will just die out anyhow, so...
Yeah,
She,
I
like,
was
reaches
gonna-
forward.
I was gonna take it, but like, I'm a little nervous that like something's gonna happen to me if I
If you,
take
Yeah.
the plant.
if you, so
Well, I'm from here. Maybe nothing will happen to me.
you should use, and then I like bend down, pick up the shears.
Mhm.
Use these if anything.
Alright.
It's not that I'm afraid that something's gonna happen to you, but I'm gonna back up before you do it, okay?
Right. Should I just pull it from the ground or cut it? Alright.
At the
She takes
back
it...
Up, back up like 5 feet.
She takes it from, like, the midpoint of where the actual stem of it is, and then... cuts it and grabs it.
We may be able to make a potion out of that when we get back.
Any jars in your bag?
I don't know if I have any. I have like a cup. You can put it in a cup. Put something over the cup.
Feels a bit crass, like it's...
I don't have a jar. What do you want
maybe
from
it
me,
deserves a
Neris?
little more than
I have another boot.
I can put it in my water
I
skin.
put the poison thing in my boot. I can put
You would probably
got good
put it in the
boots.
book, right?
Will it fit in a healing potion vial?
It's the bulb itself is probably about this big.
Okay, I thought it was like a liquid.
Where are we going back to? Like from here?
Home, I think.
I could just hold it
Somewhere.
or something.
Do you know where we end up when we go back? This is gonna be fun.
It was on the fly kind of thing
We
last.
did
Also-
have to do it, yeah.
Like, aren't we supposed to like go as fast as possible or something?
Yes,
With time.
Yeah, we
Yes.
need to go to bed soon.
but there's no way I can cast any spells right now.
You should
Yeah,
probably or
probably-
just hit the hay right now.
There's a bone thrown over there. If you want to lay on that.
Meet me on the bone throne.
Not catching any sleep on the boat.
It does sound like a hard place to sleep.
oh. Do not collect $200. Go right to jail. Oh, I'll put it in my engraved Moldrak tankard. That's about the only thing. Yeah, it's got a lid.
Your engraved one from the dwarves? Okay.
I'll just like put it in there.
Just sets it in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some like, I'm actually just gonna like put a little like bit of water on the inside, and then I'm gonna freeze it, so just to freeze the water and keep it cold.
Okay.
I'm not sure how long that'll live. Like, we have like no time period on the
What?
how long it'll like survive.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
I'm just hoping it'll last long enough.
I like.
Do you have a better idea?
No, I know, no
Oh.
idea.
Oh.
I'm just wondering
Yes.
how
Were we
fast we should,
told
or if we like
how the coin works?
try to figure it out.
What do you mean?
Is it?
You have to be on the same plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Still, these hell coins. They're just fancy.
Toss it in
Yeah,
lava.
they're just we just use that for money.
Jared, do me a quick favor in a second. Can you run out to my desk and see if my DM's guide's out there?
Your what?
My DM guide?
You want to be here?
Shelby, you don't have all your books here, do you?
Pull it up on D&D Beyond.
Oh, I thought you did. If not, there's one on the shelf.
Oh yeah, there should be one right outside on the shelf in the.
The badass books.
Yeah.
They're like a display. You take those anytime you remember to take them, too.
Alright.
They're just there because I didn't want to, like... Sweet, it's there.
Alright.
Thank you.
Just roll out my bedroll and start trying to get comfortable.
Yeah, the ground
Somewhere where
itself...
it's not, like, super wet.
Yeah, the ground itself is like a little damp, but with all of the grass and such that's growing on it, once you find a little bit of an elevated area...
Maybe on like
Just,
like the stairs to the bone throne or something.
I'll just try to create like some drier spots in the ground.
There are like little cliffs in the throne areas where you can kind of lay onto it too. So.
Nothing better than sleeping on the bone throne with all my boys.
Can I go
jeez.
into the alchemy book and just like look for like how to make a potion?
Mm-hmm.
Like skip shit. It's probably not the best idea, but
You're going in that alchemy book you have, right? Not the herbalism book? Because I think you have two different ones, right?
maybe I should do a quick scan. It's probably not in the herbalism book. Yeah, I'll just do the alchemy book and look.
Okay. Make a quick intelligence check.
Got any luck left?
It's unfortunate. 7.
7? You think that you would probably have to dedicate a little bit more time to figuring out how to create a potion, let alone creating a potion with a herb as powerful as the one that you believe you have. I don't even think you've actually made like an actual moderate healing potion, so trying to jump up may very well just cause the herb itself to just be destroyed in the process.
Makes sense.
I will let you know that you'll have to investigate the herb more when you get to that
I
point.
would like to investigate the herb more.
Moldrak has it.
While they're looking at
Or
that,
no.
can I go down the other path
I'll
and
look
check
at it
out
when we
that
wake up.
cave if there's anything
Yeah.
going on there?
Okay, so as the rest of you are winding down, what do you got?
Did they make it into a potion?
No.
From what we were told.
From what you were told, you have no idea. They could have, they
Yeah.
could not have, but
Yeah, did
there
they-
wasn't anything
They
specifically
just
saying
used it as
that.
like a salve.
Yeah, for the most part, from what you remember, or were told. But Trollonia makes his way down the right path, and you notice that both him and Neris are nowhere to be seen for a minute. But while you guys are getting ready and setting up camp, like Neris makes her way off, or hasn't been in this area, but then Trollonia just goes and investigates further. Trollonia The second trail leads to a small cavern that you saw initially. It's kind of like a rocky type of structure that's overgrown heavily with the moss. And as you approach, you can see that there are trees surrounding the sides of the cave entrance. The leaves are slowly growing, and the ground with flowers and mossy vines slowly dangle to cover the front entryway. Entering the cave, there are several cages made of bone, twined together with vines. As you step closer, it seems that the vines have started to recede, and the bone cages are no longer being held together as they crumble with this kind of little bit of like clanks, and the moss covers them along with vines. Laying in the center of the cages, there's about a dozen or so of these cages, and within them, the previous cages have bodies. Some of them are just bone. Some of it's a bloodied mess, kind of barely recognizable. You can see right now that Neris is kneeled down in between, or in the middle of all of this. You can see a body in front of her. It's long, large, kind of pointed ears, tall body, gaunt, and it seems very malnourished. You can see kind of fading off a spiritual visage of a beautiful Eladrin woman that has a likeness to Neris. Her hair is this kind of vibrant autumn orange color as it flows with a sourceless wind. Her clothing is wispy. She has this long robe of a thin kind of leather material, and she smiles with a warmth. You can see Neris is kneeling down, and next to the Eladrin shape, or Eladrin wispy kind of woman there that's there, there is a Eladrin man, kind of taller, strong-looking elven individual, also with a likeness to Neris. The two of them, you can see, have just spoke to Neris a bit, and as Neris looks up at the two individuals there, there's this kind of explosion of orange fey type energy as they both dissipate into the distance. You can hear Neris slightly whimpering as if she's crying. You see the back of her hair go from this white color to a bit of an orange. It starts to go from probably the top down. It starts to slowly kind of poof out more too, to where her hair is not as tight to her face. It's kind of out in these longer kind of curls. Her skin on the back of her neck is starting to look orange. The ears perk up more. She still has her face. She turns around with a sadness, but also a look of comfort in a way. Then she turns around and notices you standing there.
Okay. I guess I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to kind of look at her, nod, close my eyes, and then kind of just turn around and walk out. Because I'm assuming I just witnessed the death of maybe her parents or something along those lines, or family members. So I'm just kind of gonna let it go and not just kind of walk away from that.
Okay.
Not bother her.
Alright. The two of you make your way back towards the camp area, where you guys all find rest for the night. Is there anything anybody wants to do before resting?
You guys didn't have anything, right?
You said there was a body.
On the ground, yeah.
Was it the individuals
It seemed to be,
that I
yeah.
saw?
Yeah.
Would my revival ritual work?
You think that they're probably far too, dead, or too far gone, probably?
Okay.
Yeah, you don't think that they, just recently died? I think it's been a while.
Okay.
Okay. So, you lay down and take rest. The forest that you are in right now, or the marsh area that's beginning to get a little bit more vegetation to it, each moment looks like a different place. The trees are getting taller by the second. Leaves are sprouting from them very quickly. Moss is growing upon everything. There is still water, and you can hear water actually running now, almost as if it was dammed somewhere before, but there's now a bit of a flow to it. The nighttime isn't really night. There's just this perpetual twilight, as I had said, so you can't really tell that it's dark or if it's night or morning or whatever time it is, and time here feels very, very strange. However, what is not very strange is how tired and exhausted and beat up you are. so it causes you to be fatigued enough to be able to fall asleep in the current light. So you guys will all be able to take your rest. Is there anybody staying up and taking watch, or is everybody going to sleep?
I'll probably stay up for like a few hours, just listening, watching occasionally, but mostly just keeping my ears open.
Okay. All right. As you're all resting, sleep comes pretty quick as you are tired and beat up, bloodied. Some of your wounds are tended to with bandages or whatever else. But you rest and sleep and get a good enough rest to be able to feel much more refreshed in the morning. You sleep without issues. Nothing seems to have woken you or even been in the vicinity. The occasional small marsh type creature would have come by or been around enough to make noise, but nothing enough to disturb you or cause any sort of a threat or danger to you. As you wake up, you can see where Neris was sleeping. That kind of all the way around her is just this huge amount of wild flowers that kind of grew up. Not sure why or how, but it looks pretty cool as she wakes up and near it. And you guys notice, now looking at her, that most of you are awake, that she is no longer gray-skinned, or her hair is not white. She is this bright, vibrant orange. Her eyebrows are actually kind of longer and coming out. Her face looks the same. It's the exact same, but the skin tone is this kind of orangish red, almost auburn-like color. The hair is orange and longer and kind of curled out to the sides. Her clothing remains the same. She even has a bit of a look of warmth to her face instead of just this kind of cold, piss-off look all the time. It's still there, but it's not as intense with the kind of orangish skin that she now has, which we can get into asking her when she comes back after the flashback. But for now, what would you guys like to do that you have woken up?
We probably shouldn't stay here for too much longer. We need to get back to business. Don't know how long it's been back home.
You need to do your thing.
Yeah. We need an item from the place we're going.
I think I have an idea of how we can get back.
Cool. You need anything?
We're sleeping in here.
Yes.
I'm confused if it.
I'm gonna throw those health points out.
Yeah, if it does that, we won't have to.
We have might have to so far.
We won't have to try to do it for every night. It'll just be the night that you slept. That's all it's gonna be.
That's what the production is. Let's distribute it.
We're just in we teleport to a coin factory there.
I don't know what day the market
Some
is,
big
so.
fucking demon.
It should be the 4th.
So,
Because you guys haven't even been here a full day.
These health points are going to be useful for something, I'm telling you. I'll find
you
it.
keep hanging on to
I'll
it.
find it.
So,
There's so much shit that hasn't been useful.
How many plates you got right now?
Hero points?
Plates.
Oh, plates?
Like-
I'm out.
yeah,
I had to
fucking
burn those
right.
for wood.
Yeah. I was just thinking we could just use the plate to get back.
as soon as I find my D4, I will roll it.
You want a
I'll
D4?
explain to you what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Got a few here if you want one. 3.
So, Connor's gonna do. First, everyone come gather around.
Alright.
This one should go a little bit easier than before. Again, it's only the second time I'm doing this, so hopefully we don't land in the ocean somewhere.
Well,
That's a possibility?
that's okay. We can just walk on top home, wherever that is, so.
So, what I'm gonna do is I reach in my pocket, I grab the coin to Arcanoria, and then I kind of shoot it up. And with my staff, I catch it, and then you see like a ripple start going through, and then open up, and on the other side you see Arcanoria.
Okay.
Cast plane shift.
Or we hope it's Arcanoia.
Yeah.
Bill's like, actually it is the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, with plane shift. Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's a good place to go.
So, as you're making your way through,
Jumping through.
I need
I'll go
everybody
first.
to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, jeez. I think I'm wise, resilient. Oh, natural 20. I'm fucking cracked. 18.
Okay. I'll roll for Sarfrax.
Oh.
He's good.
15.
10?
29.
16.
16. Okay, everybody succeeds. Nobody lost their memory.
Wait, run it one more time. What did you say? We would have lost.
Your
Would've
memory of
lost your
being here.
Yeah, you're right. Cool. Just
However, though, I have to do a time warp.
Time
Did
warp.
you roll for nerves?
She doesn't have to. She's
Oh,
from the
maybe
Fae.
no time will have passed.
Says it right here.
Do we have the time?
Creatures that have the Fae ancestry trait automatically succeed.
I'm from the Fae too.
Yeah.
I spoiled my whole entire backstory.
Yeah. I just thought it was like all halflings are from the Fae.
Possible.
They're so whimsical.
Alrighty. You step your way through the portal. Make your way into Arcanoria. You actually appear within that entryway. It seems that there's some force of magic that causes most magic of teleportation to there to be directed into this chamber here. But once you get pulled in, you can see standing to the far side, Wendell is there, the gatekeeper. He just looks up, squints a bit before reaching underneath, and then the door slides open.
See ya.
You can see bright light shining down from within there.
Get on in.
Unsure of if time has changed.
Wait. Oh, I'm gonna say, Wendell. What day is it?
What do you got, Evereth?
The last.
Okay, yeah.
He went to month, not to.
I do believe it's the 4th?
4th of what month?
The month, Avareth?
Okay. Wait.
What month were we in? I don't
So
know.
what month
I have
were
no
we in?
relation.
It's the day it should be. Time move normally.
Oh.
No change. You
No
lucky
change.
bastards.
Well, I wanted to jump
Well,
on
It
that's
either
good.
could have been days become minutes, days become hours, no change, days become weeks, days become months, or days become years.
We got lucky.
No matter what he rolled, Billy
Alright.
just selected that one so he didn't have to figure out the
I rolled a
fucking
12.
thing.
I'm gonna go head to the potion shop real quick.
Days become years?
Yes.
We could have really just jumped an entire
That
year.
would
The world would have ended.
Yeah, we would have just got back to a hellscape. We wouldn't even have needed a new campaign.
Everyone's running around on
It's
fire.
crashing.
Yeah.
one day the keepers of Zaxria disappeared.
Never to return.
Weird avatar plot.
Yeah. You guys need to do anything while we're here?
Shall we get some potions?
Yeah, I'm gonna restock. I'm gonna see if she can use that ingredient thing.
Head over to the hall.
Okay. Good idea.
Trollonia, you've been here. This is the second time you've been to this place. And it seemingly looks like a floating city, and that's all you know of it.
Oh no, this is the first time he's actually seen it.
Yeah, but he was...
Blind.
We blindfolded his ass.
Ah, yeah. Well, he slipped under the radar with Wendell, so...
Yeah.
No, we just do what we want.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Like to see Wendell try something.
He's probably some great. He's the strongest
Yeah.
sorcerer here.
Yeah. He's the gatekeeper.
Like, you can do something, and then you just disappear from the planet, and everybody forgets you existed.
He turned Moldrak into shit.
Wait, are we meeting up somewhere?
In front of the. Do you want to meet in front of the hall? Or do you mean like in the world?
I mean, either, I guess.
Oh, yeah, probably in front of the hall.
Alright.
You need to do some. You need any money or anything?
Check some stuff around.
How long do we have to be at Southbrook?
A month.
Well, how long the trial? It was
Been
like
about
a week, so like 3 weeks left.
We
We
got.
should get there probably a few days early.
I would think earlier is better.
Yeah.
At least a week early, I would say. We
We
have
have
2
any,
weeks.
we have anything else that we can do in the meantime?
Take care of. I mean, our list is pretty empty now. I don't know where it's at. Don't look at me.
You're the guy with the list, man.
I know. To do is only send word to the kingdoms and save Sandon. So that's it. And I think we already did the first one.
The sky airship docks.
We go to the hall.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna. You need to go. You want to go shopping?
I guess I'm down.
All right. Trollonia, don't walk off the edge. There's no safety net.
Yeah, I'm gonna use. Can I use Intuit and just like follow my intuition and just wander? Is that a thing?
Tell them there's no action.
So I'm going to give you a
there's no
little
safety.
description of what you're looking at here. So when you get through here, there's initially this big marble room. It's like this bright white stone. There's this like counter gatekeeper guy, he's an older man, who lets you into what you can see now is like this essentially huge piece of rock that has this hall built upon it in the center point where there's like these pylons floating around. It's this large marble structure. You can see people are walking about in these longer kind of wizard-like robes. There are a few shops, and this entire city seems to just go in like this circle where everything revolves around, and you can see over to your right there are like birds flying like even level with where you are. There's sky like all around. You don't feel wind though where you are, where you'd expect to feel like this intense pressure of wind. The temperature up here is pretty moderate. It's almost like you're sitting in some sort of like air-controlled area. You can see as you get here immediately, Connor just kind of lets everyone know he's going to the hall and then starts to walk forward, and then Moldrak and Ander, along with the rest of everybody, start to kind of go over to the right a little bit before Moldrak turns around and talks to you. But Ezreal, where you're going, Neris and Zarbrax are just kind of following with you as well.
Is there a religious area?
No, this seems to be like some sort of a arcane magic type of city.
Trollonia, just pretend like you're supposed to be here. This place is called Arcanoria. Can you hear me say that?
He's here. He sees it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. It's a floating city, obviously. Seriously, don't jump off. Do you need anything? No. You want to come shopping with us so that you don't look like you're wandering aimlessly?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So as you guys begin walking, where are you heading?
Why can I never remember the name of the potion shop? Potions Galore.
All right.
I'm going to talk to Gita. You're going to jail.
Get my thing opened up here with all the prices.
How much gold do we have? Okay, we're going to be broke after this. Stocking on potions ain't going to be cheap.
Gonna have to rob somebody else.
12,000. Probably going to be down to...
I'm assuming my
Like
character has no
13,000.
basic concept of like money or what that would mean.
No, not in any sort of a way.
Okay. So as soon as you walk in the shop, I'm just gonna start picking things up and looking at them and touching things and like.
You're fine to touch things, but don't just put them in your bag, and two, don't drop anything or break anything. If you want to know what something is, though, I can probably try to help you.
Azrael, going over to the sky dock. It doesn't seem that there is anything over there like docked currently, but you can see a couple of crates that are on the dock there. Here we go. Found my tab. But it doesn't look like anybody's actually there.
Alright, I was just looking to see if the captain was there.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be there.
The those crates just look like typical good crates for goods?
Yeah, they look like they're actually not good crates. They look like they're more of like equipment. Like there's rope inside of them to like tie the boats or whatever you like call them, sky ships, to the dock itself. A couple of like nets, like wooden planks.
Alright, I'll just head back to the hall then.
Okay. Alrighty. Making your way into Potions Galore.
Mm-hmm.
Once you make your way inside, you can see that Gita is to the far side, kind of like the right wall, like when you walk in. She seems to have like a crate, like box next to her that she's grabbing potions from and setting up onto a shelf. Mm-hmm. All of the potions she's grabbing are like this kind of lightish blue color that has like a little bit of like a crackle to it as she sets it up onto the shelf. She looks back over after she hears the shuffling of footsteps and then...
Hello.
Oh! Hello!
Yep.
Welcome back!
Thanks. How long has it been since I was here?
Probably like 3 days we were
Yeah.
here.
Here to maybe restock on some potions.
Alright.
I also have a bit of a strange ingredient that you may be able to make potions out of.
Alrighty, we can look at it.
Sure. Alright. We'll do that first, and then we'll talk potions. I pull the tankard out of my bag and I set it up on the counter, and then I kind of flip the lid back and
What is it?
I kind of pull it out. It's called a wiltroot.
Never heard of it.
Kind of like tickle and make it open up.
It doesn't look like it opens up to that. Andrew knows that like the sun or some sort of light is what was causing it to open a bit.
Could I do like a little bit of like produce flame and like see if that...
It seems that the light coming off of it causes it to...
I guess I could do dancing lights.
Yeah, dancing lights probably seems better. It
Yeah.
causes it to kind of twist and open a little. Ooh, interesting.
The supposedly the paste inside is like extremely potent for healing. This is, as far as we know, the only one left.
It's also from the Feywild.
If you can maybe make another one, then go for it. But as far as we know, this is the last one.
Well, I mean, what exactly are you asking of me here?
Could you turn it into healing potions?
I can sure try.
Here,
No promises, though.
Examine it.
She kind of takes it and walks over to what you can see is a small, like, it almost looks like a rolling type cart, but it has like 3 layers to it that have several little plants that are inside of pots on top of it. A lot of the top ones are very familiar. They just look like some sort of a dried like lichen that you use in most like healing potions in Zaxria. But she takes it and gets a small pot that she sets up, puts some water into it with like soil, and then just sets the plant inside of it, hoping that will probably work. Yeah, I can take a look at it. I'll do it once you leave. I don't know how long it'll take, but I guess
Okay.
check in whenever you're back again.
Alright, well, healing potions. How many do we have? 4? Alright. Got any,
Thanks. What's up?
got any, new potions? Anything exciting?
No, not really. I've kind of just been restocking everything that you bought from the last time, keeping me busy that way.
Yes. I mean, I would apologize, but...
No, no need necessary.
Yeah.
This one's called Magic Shop. This is like Harry Potter.
Okay. Alright, well...
Wait, what about the one with the lightning in
The
it or
blue one?
something?
Oh, it's just one of the, she points over, those are just resistance type potions. As she points over, you can see that there's like lightning ones, fire. You can see that the orangish red, and then there's fire that's like a little lick of it inside of that.
I thought I was gonna get lightning powers for a second.
You want lightning powers? Maybe talk to his Rex.
Fire shop music.
It's kind of a banger. Alright, well, do you have, did we buy the Arcane Restoration potions from her?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I think this is the only place we can get them.
Yep, this is the only place that makes them.
Okay. Alright. How many superior healing potions do you have?
10.
10?
Yeah, I've made 10 up. I've got some graters as well. I think I've got about a dozen of those.
Can
Okay.
we do like a, I don't know, like tell you how many potions we want, and then you can make them?
Oh, like a commission.
Yeah, it just costs a little bit more because it's an order, so I
Right.
put it all together with the labor and everything,
like-
get it ready for you.
Could cost cheaper because we buy it in bulk. Business Andrew.
I'd say, I mean,
Pulls out the
normally I take money down from the actual, like, store cost of the potion and just charge a little bit for the labor, but it's usually cheaper for you to just order a bunch more than likely.
Okay. Alright. I mean, should we order?
We want 300 That might be.
No.
That might be a little too much.
300.
How much each were they normally?
The superiors are 125 each,
125, okay.
but she gives them to you guys for 110
Okay.
because of the sort of arrangement that
Yeah,
you had
we
where you
buy
just
a
come to
fuck
here
ton
and
of
buy them.
potions.
Or,
Yeah.
loyalty, if
Yeah.
you would.
Okay. So if we wanted, like, hang on, I just gotta do some math here. I was gonna do 30, but 50 is probably good.
Your friend over there is pretty handsy.
You want him to stop?
What do you? He just looks like he's never seen something like that before.
He's new.
Chance he hasn't seen anything like that.
What's up?
I'm just looking.
You want to know
I'm
what
just
that
pulling
is?
stuff off the shelf. I
You
don't
want to
even
know what that is?
He
Trollonia?
literally is just walking around like.
He won't drop them, so you don't have to worry. Okay, if we wanted to commission, say, 50 superior healing potions,
All right.
could you maybe get me like a quote on that?
50.
50.
That'll probably take me a good 2 weeks to get done.
Oh, all right.
And especially because I need
Well,
to get all of the supplies in, I'd
we
say
could,
that
we could buy the 10 she has and then commission like. How many could you do in like a week or like a few days?
You also have 3 weeks to just kill.
Oh, that is true.
normally I'd say I could probably do in a week's time, maybe 7.
Okay.
Imagine.
It's about 1 a day with all the other duties and things I have to do, and other potions I make, other orders, getting the supplies, the time it takes. On a good week, I'd say I can pump out 7.
Oh yeah, I should ask her if she'll train me. All right. I will.
I'd say I could do more. I just don't have the help or hands around here.
It's like you want it to happen.
If you did have like somebody, I don't know if I know anybody that could do that. Like if you had somebody who like had like maybe a little bit of like herbalism / like alchemy training, you think you could like do it faster?
Probably not, because I'd have to probably train whoever it is that needs the help.
When they have like a decent amount of alchemy training.
Do they have experience? They
I
made-
don't think this fictional person obviously probably
Right.
hasn't made a potion yet.
Yeah, that'd probably make time go a bit longer when it comes to making the potions, because they wouldn't know what to
Luckily
do.
we don't know that person anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't
In
matter.
theory, everything's great.
I mean, you could still ask, even to watch.
I just like can they observe?
He's talking about
I
himself.
just wanna,
I figured
wanna know
as
if I
much.
could-
Yeah, I don't mind helping you
trying to
learn a
learn.
little bit. Just have you do some things around the shop. Probably help me out in
Good
return.
job.
Keeper's gonna work. Decide to fucking get made. What would you need help with?
Cleaning, organizing, grabbing up the supplies and ingredients from the ship when they come in. I mean, you don't have to stay here and do a daily job, but whenever you come by, come out and help out. And if I'm making potions that day, I'll show you some tricks and ways around the table.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like a bad deal.
But I'm not discounting your potions any more than 110.
That's fair.
It's
You-
already 15 lower than
It's a good. It's a good deal.
110. Nope, 110 per
I
potion.
just tried, see if that was.
All right, but we'll be back in a little bit. I just want to talk to the rest of my friends about
Okay,
how long we're going to be
also,
here.
how much would, if we did end up doing 50 potions, how much would that like come out to?
50?
Yeah,
Pretty close to about, I'd say 5,000.
makes sense.
Yeah,
think the total
and that's
amount.
I mean, that's with the labor and and if I wanted to do 50, that would take me some time for sure.
Yeah. Well, at 110 a piece, it'd be 5,500.
Yeah.
All right. Well. All right. We'll be back shortly. Yeah. Gotta talk to everyone.
Is there something that you wanted?
Yeah, Trollonia, did you want something?
If I want anything?
Yeah, I don't.
I said it
Right. I guess I only need to commission 40.
We're probably gonna buy them anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what? While we're here, I'll just take the 10 that you have, and then
Alright.
we'll.
This lady will never be able to sell anybody.
Planning on taking a weekend, but probably being here resupplying again.
Sorry.
No worries.
Go on vacation. I spend all
Look,
my money here.
You're paying for my goods. Why am I going to complain? You're
Yeah.
keeping me in business. And more.
Single-handedly.
I swear we're the only ones that buy her.
2 people walk in.
2 people walk in?
Yep.
Ooh.
2 like students, it looks like.
They can afford superior healing potions. So.
They don't even have money.
Can't buy potions. Alright, well, I'm just like dropping the potions into the bag. Alright. We're gonna head out.
Good.
Yep.
Why don't you get to your business?
Appreciate it, yeah. Do you need, no you don't need, you just drop them in the bag, yeah. Here you go.
Yep.
She starts handing them.
I'm gonna subtract 1,100 gold. I count out the 1,100 gold and set it in
She gladly takes
a
it.
few bags on the counter. Just 1181. And then I'm gonna head back to the hall.
Okay. So, Connor, you're already here. What exactly are you doing in here?
Finding someone in the sack so I can get a coin.
Okay. Yeah, you find Magisterium Adrixir if you go over to the door and just kind of knock and wait for a moment. The door opens up. He is standing there in his kind of illustrious bright robes. Fuck. Mr. Kepler, good to see you.
Nice to see you too. Give him a little bow.
Yeah.
Just came to pick up another coin if that's possible.
Most certainly. He just kind of waved his hand.
Also, just you seem to be pretty experienced in these kinds of things. We just came back from the Feywild and actually found a pylon of power. Are those in all planes?
Yes, they are actually. Most every plane, even hells for that matter, have some sort of a beacon of power, if you would, to them. Typically, these pylons were used as some sort of waypoints, if you would, that connect all of the worlds together.
So we could use them as teleportation service?
Yes, and it's the power that connects all of these stones that allow for teleportation between the planes. If any of these were ever to be broken or severed, it would almost render it impossible.
Seemed to have some weird, strange effects on Neris while we were there.
Yes.
Nothing too like life. Well, it's kind of life changing, but nothing life threatening.
Well, sometimes these pylons can be more than just a waypoint, if you would. Some of them emit a lot of powerful energy that can be used, as did the one that was beneath Venore. The Drow Queen was using it in her own sort of a way. Azeron uses one to fuel much of their society, I guess. They don't abuse the power of it, so that is why it goes as is, and we don't check it as much as we need to.
So I'm guessing there's probably one in use to keep Arganoria off the ground.
There is, and he kind of gestures back up above where that pylon sitting in the center of the hall is kind of floating about. That there actually is.
Makes sense. It was strange to see at first how they can differ from point to point, I guess.
Yes, they each have their own purpose.
Luckily enough, it doesn't seem like any time had passed from time leaving there to here. So we got lucky on that.
Yeah, I have read of the Fae and the wild types of magic that it possesses in itself. I've never been myself, but truly from the things I've read, I don't really have a desire to go, so.
I don't really want to go back there myself unless we absolutely have to. Thank you for the coin. Thank you for the quick lesson. It's really appreciated.
Most certainly. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Not at this time. I think we're gonna try to catch up and maybe take a couple weeks break or something.
Well, I'm sure you've earned it.
I got some studying to do, so I'm gonna leave you to whatever you were doing. If there's anything you need us for, just let us know.
Most certainly.
Start walking to the entrance of the hall.
Alright. In the midst of your conversation, Azrael, along with Neris and Zarvrex, would have made their way in to the hall. You'd see Connor kind of approaching the exit / little entrance for you, but making his way out.
Did you do whatever you had to do?
Yeah, I was looking for the captain. He wasn't there.
Do you need more supply or something?
Yeah, I only got the one. Just hoping to be topped off for our next journey.
Yeah. Well, you might get lucky, honestly, considering where our next journey is.
Yeah, that's true.
How will it go?
I don't know.
I'm not too
We're
sure.
gonna need our own harvesting equipment though.
Yeah. I guess maybe, I don't know how we would put it into a barrel, or we don't have a giant glass cylinder anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, a piece of iron is a piece of iron.
Yeah, I don't know if I could figure out how to make one of those in 3 weeks. So,
Well, I have a coin. I don't know if there's anything that you guys need to do, but I have some studying for this spell. It seems like it could be pretty beneficial to us on our journey. And still have a few weeks or so, I think, until I can master it and get it going.
alright. What do you just gonna study at the state?
I think
Right here?
I might just get a room in the reprieve. No one really does anything or bug me there or anything like that. Not saying you guys bug me or anything. Just it's easier to focus.
Yeah, I get that. I gotta go back to the state and focus on my craft anyway.
Okay. Well, I reach in my pocket, take the coin, flick it towards you. If you guys do leave, you'll know where to find me.
Alright.
I start walking towards the. I'll wait and see if everyone else comes.
Okay.
Is there like steps outside like coming to the
To the hall?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 that lead up.
Should I go sit on the steps outside and wait for Walter in the game?
Okay.
we're heading back.
Yeah,
right after
you guys will make your way back, and Connor is standing at the top in the entryway. He seems to be flipping through one of the compendiums that he has. Neris and Zarvrex are standing by Azrael. They would have told you that they're just going to go back with you and wait there until whatever is next. Or if it's easier to just wait at the reprieve, they're going to do that.
Alright, so, as far as potions go, guys, we kind of have to, we keep cleaning out the potion lady, so, we kind of have to commission an order of potions.
Sounds like a smart idea.
Yeah, but it's going to take like 2-ish weeks, depending on how many we want.
I mean, that's not too bad. We have some time to kill.
Yeah, is everybody okay with that if I put it in order? Okay.
I don't care. That's your guys' money.
Alright, well, is there anything you need? You need any money?
No, I don't think so. I might have needed some from. I wanted some more electricity from the ship, but
Okay.
he's not here, so.
Do you... Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to need more supplies back at the house.
You have a lot of iron there, so unless you're making like prototypes, you should have enough to make a good amount of ammo.
Alright.
I don't know as far as like your powders and such, but there's plenty of iron.
Did anything come from the root?
Oh, she's gonna try and possibly regrow it, and if not, she's gonna make potions out of it. So, or at least try to. You know, she can't guarantee anything, but yeah.
Well, I got another coin. Azrael has it right now.
Okay.
I'm just going to probably be at the reprieve until we need to go.
Okay.
I have some studying to do. It's pretty easy for me to just focus there on everything I need to do.
Right. Okay.
So if you guys do want to go back to the estate or stay here, it's...
What do you think, Ender? Do you need to go back to the house?
I'm kind of just following you guys right now.
Okay. Right, Connor. Well, if you're gonna stay here, maybe, like, you know, once a day, lunchtime or something, swing by the dock and see if the guy is there. Maybe Azrael can, you know, or be like, hey, Azrael needs some zappy zaps. Yeah, I don't know.
That stuff runs for.
I can just give you some gold.
Depends on how much he has, I guess.
Yeah, I have about 200 on me right now.
I actually might just stay here also.
Okay.
Just help her with the potions /
Oh yeah, right. I forgot. That's a good idea. I'll
Learning some alchemy.
Kind of. I'm more doing work for her while watching her do alchemy. I think
I'll
that's
just,
probably,
Like a part-time.
oh, well then you can swing by the dock too and see. Okay, I'm just gonna give you guys like I don't even need my bag. I'll just give you my bag.
People power now.
Am I gonna toxic? All right. Well, I'll go put in the order of potions. Azrael, I'm just gonna come with you. I'll just help you make bullets. I don't have anything I need to do. So, yeah. You guys can stay here.
Czar, you need to find any of your parts for your axe or whatever. You got 2 weeks. You want
Oh
to search
right. Might be.
Well,
Where was the closest one? Sea of Souls.
Sea of Souls,
Wasn't there a
but we're going to be going there.
That's true.
And then the Axe Head is in Yolgard. I
Oh,
could go do that.
Might be in. We aren't
Might
sure about that anymore.
right.
'Cause when we were
Yeah.
there, we didn't see it.
well, there is a.
But I could go look, at least.
I mean, yeah.
someone with a more repertoire with the old guard should probably go with him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't want to go there by myself.
Yeah. Oh, wait, don't they have a problem with you?
He thinks they might have.
They might have a problem with me.
Okay.
I killed some dwarves when I was up there.
Like, one's in like the city or like a.
They were in the mountains, like the northern side of them.
I don't know. It's all right.
But they might have like a wanted, and then it's like He does like this really toothy, scary-looking grin.
Did I ever see any wanted posters when we were in the old guard?
Not that you remember.
Okay.
We didn't walk by the wanted board, is the problem.
Yeah, you're probably wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, I should be able to get a lot done in 2 to 3 weeks by
Yeah.
myself if you want to go with them.
Okay.
I'll watch over the house.
All right.
Keep your bag.
Yeah, I probably will want to keep my bag then. I'll just give you guys what I...
Well, here's the thing: if you guys are going to be splitting up, we only have one goal.
It's true. We'll just have to make our way back to this guy, and
Where's the closest teleport to the old one?
the old guard.
Can we just go there?
I think there's one in the old guard.
Let me check.
I thought there was. Maybe I'm wrong.
If not, it's the Lyceum.
I've got them all written
Well, I've already
down.
navigated the mountains a
They're
few
either
times.
written
so-
in here or in...
Ezra, while you're at our house, see if you can get an update on that teleportation center.
Oh, right.
When did we start that?
We started it
a month ago?
at least, yeah.
It'll take
A year.
I think it's a year.
Takes a whole year.
Yep. But I think we started it, you know.
You still got any of those mind potion things?
Oh, yeah.
How long do those last for?
24 hours. But, I mean, could take them, you know.
I don't know,
See
like,
if we can pick up some more of those from South.
Oh, right. That's where we got them.
Yeah,
we could like
those
Take-
and those.
everyone who's splitting up could take one or whatever, and then on a specific day at the end of the week, just make sure everything, you know, what's going on or whatever.
That's a good idea. I only have 4 of the bulbs, so we only really have, you know, one shot at that.
It's an idea.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good one, just to make sure, you know, somebody's not dead.
There's Southbrook, Teneveth, Nasai, the Lyceum, Land of Giants. There is the Old Guard on here.
Okay.
But
But, we haven't been to the old guard one.
the Old Guard one
Oh, is it in
is in... God, what the fuck is his name?
Oh,
I just put Wizard Study. Tregadier. It's in Tregadier's study within the Old Guard.
Oh.
It's similar to how, like, the Lyceum
Well, that's
has
fine. I have an idea for that.
Grand Magus Asarius' study.
All put them in their bedroom? Is that the idea?
It's not in their bedroom, it's the study.
Oh.
That one is in that guy's bedroom.
that's just because it's an open room. Come on, go upstairs.
I mean, I could
I've
just...
seen that man naked 3 times.
Oh, jeez.
I told you to close your eyes.
Okay, well, let's just... If we go during the day, what are the chances that he's there?
Good check.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, is he always...
That's that little weird guy you talked to last time.
It wasn't that weird. He was just like a... I mean, if I was an apprentice to that guy, I would be pretty, like, wound tight, too.
So
Yeah,
me
I'll
and
go.
Connor are staying here.
Yeah.
You guys are all going back.
hmm
You and Zarbrax?
Yeah.
Is that it?
We're
We're
gonna...
going to Filgard?
Probably
What do you...
Probably Nearest.
Yeah.
I guess nearest.
What do you want to do, Trollonia? You have several options. You can stay here in this floating city. There's free rooms, free food.
Nothing else is free.
Yeah, nothing else is
Why
free.
do we live?
My character doesn't understand what free, like in the concept, like of
You
what
can't take
free
anything.
is.
What do you not? You don't have like exchange where you come from, like barter or trade. You don't trade things. How do you get the stuff you need?
We're an isolated tribe from the desert, so we don't.
Just like make stuff for people.
We just there's
Okay.
not very many of us, so there's only like 15 people.
Got it.
Turtles.
So like, for example, Trollonia, if in, you know, out of your tribe, in the rest of the world, if you need, say, shoes, you either trade some sort of good that you have. Maybe you make gloves. You trade gloves for shoes.
I look at my feet, no shoes. I look at my
You
hands.
know how, like, when
No.
we bought the potions, how she gave us the potions, and then we gave her the gold? Yeah, gold,
So these-
things?
Those are valuable.
Yeah, these.
They have, you know, not sentimental value, but like incremental
There's
value.
also like silver.
I'm just looking at you like totally confused.
There's also like silver and copper, but we don't
I think
really use that.
we're straying from the point.
Oh, okay. So
So-
I was gonna go down.
So
Currency and like exchange been around since like that.
No. You probably would have been around when it was formed and created. Like through your lifetime, gold became a thing.
So, like, to you, your staff has value. Yes.
I give you my staff.
Well, I don't think there's any explaining this to you. Just don't take things that don't belong to you, and you'll be fine.
And if you want something that doesn't belong to you, let Andrew or I know.
And
and
we'll
then we
steal
can
it.
figure that out. Especially if someone else has it, you can't just
Yeah,
go up
no.
and take it from them. Like if I wanted Anders' cards on his waist, I can't just go and steal them. Well, I probably could, but
No way he's stealing them. There's not a chance.
No, I didn't.
but you
Do I
would
have to
you would
come
offer
over?
him this gold
Do it.
or money for them. And what this allows us to do is we then exchange it, this for that. Then we're both happy.
I don't think he has a concept of possession. So telling him not to take other people's things might not really mean anything to him.
Yeah, I
Because
guess
everything.
Just don't.
Possession as like a ghost taking control.
That's probably too much.
You know
You're,
what?
you're pretty
We'll come
confident
back
that he
to it
has
another
enough
day.
of a moral compass not to steal.
Okay.
So, but he just doesn't seem to be grasping the whole concept of currency.
That's fair. I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
You hang out
What
with
do you-
us long enough and you'll figure it out.
what do you want to do?
So I don't. You guys are going to mountains? I don't know.
Yeah, we're going
what
to the mountains. Do you know what mountains are? They're like you know sand dunes, right? You're from the desert. Think sand dune, but super, really massive, and not sand, rock,
And snow.
and snow. You don't know what snow is. Don't worry about snow. Just like the highest thing into the sky you can imagine.
I'd like to see that.
Okay, well you can come with us.
They are cool. They're definitely cool.
It's very cold.
That too.
I have no concept of what cold is either. So.
I'll just like
Does the
make
desert
my
get cold at night?
Yeah, but
I'll just like make my hand really cold and touch his arm like that.
tolerable.
Okay. Well,
I'd say you definitely have a basic
I know like
idea
what
of
cold
what
is.
things are. Yeah, but
like I just
actually
I-
experiencing
we're gonna-
it.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I haven't seen it. Like I don't.
we'll get you some warm clothes and yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not like a child. Like I know things.
hard
It's
to
just
tell.
like so like
You're just going through the whole skip teaching again.
Basically.
well no, because so the tribe that I come from was all based on like a worship of there was a religion, almost like a cult, right? Like how we would describe it, where that was all that they did, live and breathe. So we didn't trade things; we just lived how we lived
Yeah.
and took care of each other. So it wasn't like I'm not gonna go steal somebody's stuff, but also like my things are everyone's things, kind of deal.
Okay. Well, everyone's things aren't your things here. That's the only thing that you need to know. Good. Okay. We're gonna. Is there like a? Do they sell clothes at like the marketplace here?
Mhm.
Okay.
You always see vendors of like leather.
We're gonna
or
go get
whatever.
you some warmer clothes because it's cold and those will not do. You can layer over them. I'm gonna just follow me. I'm gonna head back to the potions galore.
Mhm.
All right, Gita, we're back.
All right.
What time is it? Like,
Right now it's like 11 in the morning.
we wouldn't even have any clue though, would we? We just came from like twilight.
It's
time
early.
into
I mean,
Connor knows
sun
what time it is just by looking at the sky
sun overhead.
all the
the
time.
sun is over.
Yeah.
My concept of this place is just fucked.
Yeah,
We're
you
in the
can
sky,
see-
but you still have
you-
the sun.
Everything around you. The only thing is that it's like there's almost like a invisible dome over the city itself.
Every time I thought about this place, for some reason, I just thought that the dome was like visible, I guess, kind of.
No.
It was just like.
It's just like invisible. It's like a force
But it
field type
makes
of deal.
We're not even flying.
That's why you can't feel
Just
the
in a
wind,
cave.
and the temperature doesn't really feel like much. You can feel the sun itself, but everything seems to be very regulated.
Okay, we're back.
Hey.
How many can you do in like 2.5 weeks?
I'd say
With he's probably not going to be able to help you, but he'll watch.
giving you a like for sure type of deal.
Yeah.
10.
10. Okay, and I already bought the 10, so that would be 20.
If I get any more that I can actually sell you while still having a stock, I will let you know when the time comes.
Okay. All right.
If you want to give me 1,000 gold like down payment so I can hold them for you, we can do that. Or if you think you'll be around enough to be able to come and get them, whatever you think.
I have no problem giving you a down payment. So how many? She said 20, and then like 1,000 for any.
Well, she could probably make 10.
10.
She
Oh,
said.
10.
So
okay, 10.
you'd only have to give her like
it would end up being.
100 gold more
Yeah,
when
okay,
you
okay.
actually go get them.
So,
But if she makes more, then like she said, she'll just put them within it, and then you can just pay the difference.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna give her 2,100, 1,100 for the 10, and then 1,000 extra for any stock she gets. Is that right or no?
If you want to pay the full price of the 11 and then 1,000 for extra, you can. But she was just saying to 1,000 down payment for the 10 that you're gonna make, or
Oh.
that she's gonna make.
Okay.
That way, she just holds them for you.
Oh, I was just gonna pay it in full.
Oh yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do
Yeah,
that.
just do the full payment, then that's fine.
All right. Well, here I don't like doing just pay it and be done. I'm fine with that.
Works for me. I'll be sure to keep them to the side for you then.
Minus 2,100 minus 781.
Is there anything else you'll be needing?
Oh, do you have any arcane restoration potions?
I do. I've got about a dozen. Probably a little less. I'd say maybe 9.
How much were those again?
I think they're like 300 apiece.
300.
Let me see. Arcane Restorium, 300 gold pieces for one.
Oh, you have 2 of them. Okay, I think actually we're good on those.
I've also had these 2 since the first time we bought them.
Do you want any more invisibility potions?
I did hold on to that invisibility potion for about a year in the campaign.
Oh, you
and
still
then
have?
just randomly used it right there last fight.
Right.
It was kind of helpful though.
Do you want another one?
Do you have any, like, a single that was invisibility potion. There we go. I got it. That one.
No, I don't.
No. Okay, never mind. It's fine.
Okay. I think that's it for now. I think
What
we're
do
good.
you need help with? You said I needed help.
Yeah,
with
he's
the
gonna
other-
stay. I'm gonna go.
Oh. Alright.
See you later. Thanks for the help.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I'll be getting started on those today, actually. If you'd like to start now, we can.
Works for me.
Alright. Usually right about now, though, I usually eat. So, while I'm gone, if you would, you're familiar with what certain herbs and plants and such are, eh?
Yes.
Alright, so if you could get probably a good 10 or so good handfuls of some dried lichen and prepare that, grind it up in the pestle to get more of a powdery for us, and we'll be good to go.
Okay.
And she walks past you and goes out the door, heading towards the reprieve.
Can I with my
You at
$2?
least know that.
Yeah.
That's the.
And make sure got the herbalism book and the
Yeah.
alchemy book. Just make sure I
Yeah.
got everything.
Yeah, like you're confident that what you're looking at is the dried lichen, but you keep second guessing yourself, and you like have the book, and you're like looking at it, like the colors are kind of off, but then you're like, wait, this okay, that should be it. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a d20 and then add your proficiency, because I'd say you're at least
More.
Actually, don't add your proficiency, because you would not be proficient yet. So you can just roll a d20 and add your,
16.
we'll say your dex, because it's like a hand type of deal.
21.
21, alright. You take the good handfuls of the dried lichen. It's right on top next to the wilt root that you can see there. And also, if you would make a quick nature check for me.
Come on, and
6.
Something with the wilt root right now doesn't look right. But you are paying attention to this and hyper-focused on this. So when she comes back, it might be good to mention it to her. But you get the dried lichen and start pulling that out.
I did notice there was something off about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure what it is exactly, but it just didn't look the same as when you first saw it. Almost like it's like dull, maybe. But you grab all of the good handfuls of it. You go to put them all at one time inside of the thing to like crush it down, but then you just start to spread it out. The lichen is this almost like it's like moss, but it's very dried out. Like there's not a whole lot of water content to it. So she kind of has that, or not she, but in making potions, like reading in your alchemy book, that's like a solid used to absorb a lot of like solutes and stuff, so things aren't as liquidy as they should be. There's more of a syrupy thing to it. Like the potions you guys drink, they're not super liquidy. They're almost a little viscous, like kind of like oil. They're not really. They're not like water. They're not like water. They're like very viscous. But
you probably don't really notice because you're about to die.
The lichen, you know, is a base in pretty much 80%. Not a base, but it's a solid ingredient in like 80% of potions that are made. So you're used to doing this. You start grinding it up and getting it prepared. You get it to the point where you have about 10 good handfuls of that powder all ground up. You find a couple of vials, maybe 4 or 5, that you start to fill the bottom parts up with.
Is this the same thing as pickle?
Yep.
Just dried out?
Yep.
Holy shit, I have so much at the fucking house.
how much?
128 quick lichen, just chilling. Probably bad.
Well, you were getting ready to start making. You also
Well, no, if
it
you-
doesn't
if
really.
you
go
dried
to
it, it's
yeah,
fine.
It doesn't go too like.
Yeah.
It being dry is the purpose of it. You had the quick lichen. It's probably all dried now.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you were going to start making potions, but you couldn't because they weren't at the state they needed to be.
Yeah, once it's dried, you can leave it like for like a long time.
However, she ends up returning probably a good hour and a half later. Is there anything you want to do in the shop?
Before
Because-
she comes back, are we still in the shop?
No.
You would have left with him to go to the old guard or whatever. But
Is there
you could have done something
Is
before
there
you
a
wanted.
broom somewhere?
Yep.
Does the floor look dirty?
Could be swept.
I'll sweep the floor.
Okay. If you want to do something before you guys walked out, you sure could.
Well, does my character, like, can he tell that the flower is dying?
You wouldn't have been able to see it.
See it?
no,
Okay. Okay. I thought it was just, like, out.
No, she's got it like kind of tucked back, like after you got it handed to her, and like walked it away. All right, but you guys, including Zarvarax,
Yeah.
Neris would have stayed
Okay.
just because she would have voiced concerns with Wraith and Wraith being there. Because initially, that's what Zarvarax explained to you guys, that they were trying to kill Wraith, and he
Right.
stopped those, so they don't want any sort
Because
of
they thought it was.
right. They thought it was like a dragon, which it was, but
Well, no,
Their
they thought it
perspective
was
of it,
the,
yeah.
the dragon they were looking for.
right. But Neris says that she's not going, and she's just going to kind of stay here. So she finds her way to the reprieve and lets you guys know to just get her whenever the time comes to do whatever needs to be done. Or she'll just go back to the estate. You're going back to the estate, right? Yeah, she's just going with Azrael.
That's fine.
Okay.
Waited for Multi, I guess, because we weren't done talking, I guess. Or discussing.
Yeah.
When he left.
Yeah. Just minutes. Yeah. It doesn't know. Yeah, he's just sitting there on the step when you get back, and then you're like, oh shit. We were talking.
What did I forget?
Potion. Communication potion.
What?
The mind potion to talk.
Oh, right. Yep. You know what? I mean, if it's just me and you, we can each take 2. And then at the end of, if I'm not back by the second week, then, I'll let you know how far away I am. So I just break it, and
We
it's
gotta take it on
2.
the same day.
2 and 2. Right.
It's
Or
the
you
fourth
get
right
skin
now.
and you drink it, and the
It's
other
the
person
fourth,
doesn't drink it, and then
so-
you end up thinking that something happened to them, and then you end up going following into the portal. Just
Want to do like a week from now?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 1 week from now. What day is a week from now?
That'll be the 11th.
11th. Take shared mind.
Just for your knowledge there, Muldrak, because you would know this, call Muldrak. It takes you about a week and 4 days to get back by foot from the mountains to the
Okay.
estate.
Got it.
Because it takes like 2 weeks or so to get to the keep, but that's just because of the path you have to take. But you guys can kind of take the coast if you go that way.
did he ever? I thought he never drank his. I thought he never drank his in the first.
He didn't. So you have an uneven like number of them, but
Oh.
he didn't drink it.
Because
Yeah, I had 4, so if you already have one, then.
But he didn't have it because his shit got stolen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have an idea about how to get back faster, but we'll see how that goes.
Is it a couple days to go from Tenevet to the estate?
From Tenevet to the estate? Fuck, I think it's like 4. Let me double check though. I've got a map on here that has all of
Well,
the.
you'll have Wraith, so
distances, right?
you guys can fly.
Yeah, it's like 4 days, but you can get there on Wraith in like 2.
Second thing,
Yep.
there's 2 more things. We're going to be stopping at Tenevet. I don't know if there's anything you guys would want checked up on.
Not at the moment, unless they have news for us, but
Alright, and
Just,
then I don't have any of my own rations because you guys take care of that, so
alright.
just for the 2-day journey to hopefully.
I don't know. You might be able to speak to the people at the Reprieve and just, like, load up.
Alright,
I don't know. I don't actually carry rations. I usually just either scavenge or make them,
how long do they last?
like 24 hours.
Oh, alright. I'll go see if I can get something then.
Okay.
2 gold per day for like rations if you need rations and water. So like for however many you want to spend gold wise, so you can get that.
And then we're just gonna go to the marketplace and look for some cold weather clothing for him.
Okay, yeah. You find a small, little, what appears to be, I don't want to say it's permanent, but the at least stand itself looks like it's permanently here.
Okay.
And then there's just like this banner that's up with like paint on it that just says Taylor.
Hello?
Taylor works there. Fuck, you got the wrong shop.
Hello. We're looking for some clothing for the going into the mountains for this gentleman here.
You can see looking at you is a kind of shorter, about 5'1", has like hair slicked over to the side. He's in like a nice little vest with a white button up underneath, and he's just holding it at the sides.
Do you have readily made clothes, or do you just make them?
For a man of that specimen, I do not. I will have to.
Like you don't make them?
No,
or
I will create clothes. Yes.
How long? You do like snap, like today? Like in an hour?
He kind of like does a walk around Trollonia.
Like an hour?
Give me 3.
3?
He's quite large.
Alright.
He gets over towards the
Okay.
front, like towards your face.
Well,
What are we looking for? Suit?
something to keep
Vest?
him warm in the mountains? A coat, maybe?
Like a heavy suit?
Yeah, sure.
Does this guy really make suits?
I don't know. I don't know what he does.
Some of this guy.
I'm just gonna let him do his thing.
What are these clothes for? Casual? Business?
Going
The
to the mountains.
casual.
Survival.
He says going to the...
Do not die in frigid temperatures.
I think I have a good amount of wool.
No, do you know a
material.
clothes shop around here?
Oh my god.
Zenins, maybe, but you will not find quality quite like the things I can create.
I don't.
3 hours, I will get you in something that is warm.
You see, you did like a thing there that made me think maybe you don't understand what I'm asking for.
I make suits. And nice
we're not
vests
really,
and
we're not really
dress
looking for
clothes
suits.
for business.
No, he's got a vest too.
No, we'll just get something in Yold. We'll get something in Yold Guard. Let's go.
He just turns around.
Bye.
You guys are definitely coming back. I'm suited up.
Dressed to the nines.
On the way, kind of out of the market area. Can I swing by the enchanter's table?
Yeah, yeah, Tregadier's place or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. You make your way inside to
Last stop.
Zilwick, I believe his name is.
Zilwick? It sounds familiar.
What's his name now?
Zilwick. Okay, I'm gonna head in. Is he in there?
Yeah, you can see him inside. He seems to be preparing, well, kind of preparing. He's just like taking items and setting them, yeah, Zilwick's, and setting them to the side where there's like the shelf that has a bunch of slots on it, and with the shelves there's like a piece of paper that has it, almost like a receipt that's set upon it. He just seems to be setting items within there.
Around?
You do not see him.
Okay. Zilwick.
Yeah, hi, Muldrak.
Hi.
Hi,
It's Trollonia.
large turtle man.
He's harmless. Is Mr. Trigadier here?
Tregadier, I think he's got a council meeting in like an hour, or sect meeting, whatever. If you needed him to enchant something,
No,
I could
need to
possibly do
I
it.
need to use the Marble Gateway to Yoldgard.
I wouldn't do that.
I'm just gonna do it while he's not there. So.
I never had this conversation with you
Cool. He's got a council meeting in an hour.
about, yeah.
All right. Cool. See you.
Okay.
He is going to be nervous about that for the rest of his life.
I can't make him forget. So.
You can actually.
Stop.
You cannot have this conversation. You're right.
Never kidding.
Toss him off the
A
side.
giant tiger in
Yeah.
a turtle cage.
You're never gonna believe this shit. They bonked me over my head. Threw me off the side of Arcanoria.
Oh, jeez. Giant tiger in a
Shit going on there.
Right next to Metal Gear.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
Alright.
Okay, where are you heading?
Marble Gateway.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait like roughly an hour.
All
Just
right.
fucking
And then I'm just gonna be like, alright,
push
Trollonia,
this
put
guy's
your
while watching him.
put your hand up to that.
And then you, both of you disappearing to the other side.
And
We'll get to it in a little
Zarvarex.
bit. And Zarvarex, yes. All right. So,
Warn him about the impending doom.
Oh, right.
Roy.
Real, brother.
Warn Yoldgard of impending doom.
Where else did we? We didn't do that while we were in the redwoods, did we? I don't tell them that the world's going down.
Sure did not.
Sure did not.
We did do Southbrook though, didn't we?
I sure did.
What is the kingdom in the sand?
Zash.
Oh, is it called Zash?
He really said fuck.
That's crazy. That is crazy, bro.
Not in the side. I know. I knew it.
That is the kingdom of the sun.
I knew what you were thinking.
We're talking about
You're talking about kingdom of the jungle.
Kingdom in the jungle, no them.
Yeah.
You didn't tell them either.
All right. So, as for you, Ander, sitting within the shop. Actually, we'll get to you in a second. Azrael, what are you doing, my friend?
We're grabbing our supplies and then goes to kind of a
Okay, got it. All right. So, as you are sweeping, the door opens up and Gita walks back in. All right. Did you get the lichen prepared?
I think so.
All right. We'll have a look. See. Let's go take a
There
quick
was.
look.
It looked a little like off.
The lichen?
Yeah, I haven't really seen. Was it the lichen?
No,
It's the Welsh root.
The Welsh root.
Welsh root. The Welsh root. Sorry, I'm.
Off how?
It was a little like Like it was losing its color or something.
Oh, well,
Maybe.
we'll take a look at it. She walks over and takes a look at the bulb. Yeah. What kind of environment did you find this in?
A swamp, I think.
Mhm.
Like, kind of swampy.
She kind of looks inside and then grabs it and... Yeah, it is dried out already. She sets it down and like takes it and puts it in another pot. Go get a gallon of water from the back. There's a reservoir. Big old trough. Just grab a big old bucket and bring it in.
How high off the ground is the trough, by the way?
I'll be back.
she's a
You
dwarf
just start
too.
pouring some soil and water into this here. I'll be back. She walks back and starts to go.
She said, shit, I gotta go grab this bucket.
Yeah.
It's not tall enough.
Yeah. But you start grabbing soil and setting it into the pot along with some water. And you can see the first like cup or whatever you pour into it, the water that you're getting from is like this small little barrel that's on the inside next to this little rolly cart of whatever. But taking like the cup and pouring it into it, you can almost see that the root itself instantly like absorbs the water and sucks it up into it, and like a little bit of color comes back to it, but it's almost just not enough. She comes back in with like a good bucket that she pours into it that fills it up to a point where there's still soil and there's not like a layer of water above it, but she goes back out as you're still like pouring water in, and you can see it slowly like going down every now and then to the point where it like gets dry at the top part of the soil too, where it's just absorbing it all the way from the root up. She comes back in with a bucket and pours it in. It gets to a point where the flower or root, whatever you'd like to call it, takes full color, but it's still like in the water taking a bunch of it, and she's like sweating. We might have to figure something else out here. For the time being, I think it'll be alright, but we may have to get like a big old trough and fill that with water. So I don't think this is doing it. Seems like it's already almost halfway through this. Jeez. We might have to work fast on it before it dies on us too. Here, come with me. We'll each grab a bucket, pour it in.
Like here, I could use like drink the water or something.
Not that I think or know of.
I could probably go get Moldrak. I think he can do that. I don't know if he's here still though.
Well, for now, we'll each go grab a bucket, pour it in here, and get started on these potions.
Okay.
The two of you go out, grab the buckets, and come back in and pour it to where it's almost like overflowing, and it gets to a point where it goes down probably about that much of water, and the pot itself is about this big, about that big around, and it's just like absorbing the shit out of all of the water. But it gets to a point where only about that much of it goes down that you watch, and there's probably this much water above the layer of soil, and the soil has water itself, and it seems to just kind of be slowly absorbing it. And she goes, "All right."
Wasn't it underneath water when
It was like in the part next to where there was like a little bit of a swampy water area, or almost a pond would be, near where he had his little refuge or rest area. So, with potions, all of them are going to have at least two things to start off: a base and a catalyst. The catalyst is more of an activation type of thing that will trigger some sort of response with the base itself. So, the lichen here is not a base, nor is it the catalyst. It's more of just extra ingredient to make everything work more cohesively together, if you would. So, for us, worm root is what we're going to use for the potions of healing. Now, what makes the potion actually more superior, moderate, greater, whatever it may be, is how much worm root to the lichen we use. Alright?
Okay.
So if we want it to be more potent, we use more worm root, less of the lichen. The lichen is more of a fluffer, if you would. It just kind of adds to the potion itself.
See, more.
More worm root, less lichen, more potent. More lichen, less worm root, less potent.
Flower petals.
Yep, it's the same, pretty much thing. That's right, it's worm flower petals. I was saying worm root because of the wilt root. But we'll use the petals. We'll also get those down, ground up with a little bit of water in them to almost make a paste. We'll pour that inside with the lichen itself. Usually I do, maybe she gets like a little bit of a spoon that she pours into. You can see it's got 3 different ones, almost like measuring cups would. One of them is like quite larger, and the one's like medium, and then it's a little bit. But the smaller one that she takes and kind of shuffles in, she drops that down, and then takes the larger one and scoops up some of the wormflower petal, and then drops that in. And then we'll put maybe half a cup or so of like spring water in there, mix it up a little bit, we let it sit, and then by tomorrow it should be good to go. We can probably make 2 today. So I'll make this one, you watch me, and then I'll let you try to make the next. See how it goes. So she would have already made 1 in the whole explanation process that she was giving to you before she sets it down. For you, we'll just try to do a moderate potion. If you make it, you keep it. It's fine. We have the materials. She takes the superior potion and kind of sets that in front of her. She has another thing of like measuring spoons that she hands to you. You can keep those. It'll help you better make all of your potions. It's very important that once you get your system down, that you have a way to keep it the same. Even a small bit of an ounce or so either way can mess things up and cause it not to work properly. So make sure that you have it right. She takes the large scoop of the wormflower petal salve that you've made, that she had you grind up the petals with a little bit of water in, that she scoops and gently pours into it. You can see that they're like these little metal measuring cups that have a little bit of a like pitcher, whatever the fuck you call that spout thing. You know what I'm talking about? But it has like one of those that she pours it into the vial along with the lichen that she scoops into there and drops in. The lichen stays in this like flaky powdery form that's, you know, ground down. Then she takes a cup, pours about half of that into it, corks it, gives it like a good little mix around, and then sets it down. Alright, go ahead and try to make a moderate potion. So, you're doing a crafting check right now. So you're going to have to roll your D100 first for the percentage. And you are technically not... Do you have the crafting thing readily available? Anybody? No?
You can pull it up on Discord.
Yeah.
I don't know if you gave me an actual sheet.
No, I didn't. I thought I
I
had
have
it.
5 different character sheets. None of them up to date, by the way.
Nice. Skilled.
Just trying to see what the...
Player resources. Is it in player resources?
Part 2, my little character sheet. What's going on?
Okay, so... Oh, geez, what? Okay, there we go. You are... going to need at least a... excuse me. Like 60%. Because you're not actually skilled, but you do have, like, good equipment. 60%.
60% or higher, or 60% under?
0 to 60.
0 to 60.
Anything above that, you're just gonna not be able to do it.
You said under?
Yeah, 0
0
to
to
60.
60.
Okay, cool. 13.
13. Nice. So, you start to begin to craft it, so go ahead and roll a d20 and add your intelligence for this. Because you're having to measure things out and actively think of what you're doing.
Actively think.
15.
15.
Is it minus 5 if I have to act?
So, the 2 crafting points is very close to what you need to actually have a full moderate, because a moderate healing potion is 3 crafting points. So go ahead and make another check, because you have the option to do so with your constitution. But it does take you a full 8 hours to make the potion.
What is the constitution thing, by the way?
So you can make, or no, sorry. You work a full 8 hours, and you can do 1 check. Holy shit, I'm reading this backwards.
I have 16 constitution, or plus 3.
Plus 3. You can work
You
on
can do
each
1
day for a
check,
maximum of 4
same
hours.
as me.
If you work 2 hours, make 1 check. Working at least 4, make 1 straight roll. Working for 8 hours.
Roll
You make
for
a number of
exhaustion?
checks equal to half your constitution modifier rounded down.
So 1.
1.
Right. Okay. So then you roll for a Constitution save. You have to get a 10, and then you can make another roll.
I can't see.
16 for the Constitution.
Okay, so you can make another check.
19 for the actual.
Okay, so you make enough to make the potion. The potion takes you like a good 9 hours to do, the moderate. But she's just kind of standing there watching you as you're taking the scoops and you're getting it to a point, and she's just kind of showing you less or more, how much lichen you need to the wormflower petals to kind of mix it with the water, getting the petals to the right spot, like with the amount of water, like the consistency that you want the paste that goes into it. But once you get it to a point where you can finally cork it and mix it, is what she tells you to do. Like once you get it, she's like,
What happens if you get a natural 20 on the last roll?
item gains 5 crafting points, and you get double proficiency on your next roll. If a natural 20 completes it, extra bonuses are flair to the item.
Could make a cool ass potion.
So
I'm a failure, so I didn't.
she tells you, she's like, all right, you're right there. Once you get it, you're gonna cork it and stir it. No, you're good. You just do it. Yeah.
I made it seem like I had to do something.
You do. You have to cork it and mix it. You put the cork on, and then you go to like shake it, and she's just a light little stir. Mix everything up a little bit. Set it down and let it sit. Close it. Mix it up a little. Set it down. Should be good by tomorrow. You made the potion.
Thank you.
And it took 9 hours, but you need to understand that these things do take time, because it can be life or death sometimes. We're making these for people to consume, so you want to make sure you get it right.
They have saved us quite a bit.
Well, the moderate's there. It'll be on the shelf when we get back tomorrow, and we'll get at it more.
Alright. I'm gonna go to the reprieve. Unless you need me to do something.
Nope. I'll close up shop, and then maybe one of these days, if you're still around for a little while and have to close up shop yourself, I'll give you a key and show you how. She walks over, closes it. As you walk out, you hear it lock with the skeleton key that she has. Closes it, puts it in her pocket, and walks off.
That's what this is all for, so I can steal all of her potions.
Fuckers.
It's gonna be like 10 years. 10-year heist right here.
Alright, so Ander, for you, you are going to have to spend, wait, did you already spend this gold amount to start training with the alchemy stuff? I think you did, because you bought the manual, right?
The initial stuff.
Yeah, you bought the initial stuff. Okay, so that 250 already would have been spent.
I think I have days into the book too, but 28 out of, I don't know if that's 50 or I don't know what.
Okay,
28 out of 28 points or whatever.
I think so.
28 out of how much?
I think it says 50, but I'm not sure. That sounds wrong.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that would be. But,
Although I think you started
Well,
doing that before.
yeah, we did that before we did the whole crafting thing. So the 28 days that you have translated on there, will put you. Yeah, we can just say you're 20, or we'll just say you're 30 skill points into the skill level table. So you're still like the novice part, but you're way closer into it. So if you pull the crafting thing up, you'll understand what I'm talking about fully. So for the time that you're spending with Gita learning the alchemy stuff, I'm going to say that you don't have to spend the training cost in like gold materials every day, because you have a teacher that's doing it and giving supplies and such. So each day, you're just going to roll, you roll a percentage die, and then there's the table there. So for every point that's on there, you gain it towards your skill level. So right now you're in the 0 to 99 bracket, which is novice. And then once you get 100, you're actually considered skilled.
100?
Yep. And that's only being skilled, that's not actually like proficient. 250 is proficient. Okay? If you roll well, it'll go pretty quick too, so.
It's true. May as well use them for these 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. So you can at least do the one for today.
Yeah.
If you didn't already roll that. You
Wow.
roll a D100. 0 to 25 is 1, 26 to 50 is 2, 51 to 75 is 3, and 76 to 100 is 4 skill points. So make sure you keep track of that number.
28 plus whatever.
78.
78, so you get 4 skill points.
Nice.
He's winning the last one.
Is this
32.
is this with
33?
my 30 or the
30.
48?
30.
You were at 30, so add 4 to it, so 34.
34.
Yeah.
How many days do you have left on your spell? Okay. It's like probably like when we're leaving South.
Okay, who would like to go next? Muldrak and Trollonia or
Don't matter.
Azrael?
We can go.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to wait for Zarvrax for his thing, but we can at least get started on it.
Depending on the dates, whenever the 7th hits, that's when I make my next check.
Okay. That's like 3 days.
Yeah.
Alright, so
For
Trollonia, Trollonia, Muldrak, and Zarvrax, the 3 of you emerge on the other side of the portal
Hellfire.
and are greeted by the noises, they're loud kind of clanking type noises. I think my map is actually in this book.
What's it? You? Oh, what is it? 4, you're good.
No, it's not. This is okay. Fuck is my map of the old guard? What exactly are you looking for once you get in here, though? Like where
I
you
just want to
heading?
make sure Tregvir's not in here. I just want to get out of the room as quickly as possible.
Oh, okay. So, inside of the room here,
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't have it trapped to hell.
there are no immediate.
Fucking net, so
Yeah.
come and talk to you guys.
He probably has arcane traps. We'll see.
There it is. Holy shit, this is old.
Nerd alert.
So, once you make your way
Illusory dunce cap
out,
on you.
you find yourself
Camera move.
within. Actually, you kind of rush out of the room you're in, not really paying too much attention to features and details around you. You can see an iron door to the far side. The room you're in has a lot of books and such on it. There's a table to the side, has a dull glow to it. But you just kind of go towards the door and go to open it. It opens up.
Cool.
You can see that there's a deadbolt like on the inside that seems to be like pushed, but no problem. You just close it and walk out, closing it behind you. Unlocking the deadbolt, making your way out. You see him rush out with a little sense of urgency, so you kind of make your way out. And you are greeted by a very, very dim and kind of loud interior. But the noise that seems to be loud and like a racket is distant. Where you are right now, you're standing atop what seems to be some sort of half-circle, sloping downward bit of rock that's within the city itself. And you've actually been up here before. This is the noble kind of district, or noble, like the noble homes are, where Orem brought you to where his father and like his mom and the estate was. So you know that the Hammerfell estate is up here somewhere, but you're not really sure remembering where. But you do know where you are within the city itself. Yulgard is very, very large. It's also very dark because it's inside of the mountain itself. There's a lot of metal everywhere, like steel, like very, very strong, like dwarven steel. It's kind of a darkish color. There's a lot of these metal railings. The homes themselves have these large metal braces, and the metalworking here is pretty immaculate. But you can find the path that leads all the way down and out of this kind of district where the noble homes are. and you pass the rock residency, which is a lot of the homes that are not made of metal that you see are more of the lay person with like citizens that have their homes just kind of carved into the mountainside and steps leading up or doors on them that are steel or wooden. But there's a good amount of houses there, probably like close to 200 or so that are just insides and the face of the mountain itself, and then some stone huts that are on the ground. Where you are right now, once you get over to the side, you can see in the center there, before that you saw, is the huge forge that rests in the middle of Yoltgard that has this large shrine to Moradin of this large hammer, and then beneath that is where all the forges were that you guys went to previously and had seen. And then to the far side is the mine entrance that you can see right now is actually being used, and there are carts going up and down. There's a small little building that's actually constructed on the outside now that wasn't there previously, where you can see the foreman that you met long back before is standing over towards that. It's hard to see the actual like kind of market district that's at the side, like Smith's Cove, where all of the smiths are and metal shops and armorers and everything, because there's this little bit of an outcropping that comes out. So essentially you guys are up in here, and then you've made your way out and can see all of this in front of you. And then this to the far side is the actual other market district, where there's more of like meats and leathers and clothes and all of that stuff. And then over up into here, the royal quarters and where like the military ward was.
Looking around, having not been here since their fight with the Duragar, does it look any different?
I'd say most of everything on the surface level looks pretty much the same.
Okay.
The way that they carry themselves within this city as well, they're very, very hardworking, and everybody seems to be doing something. There's not a whole lot of people just kind of like sitting around and enjoying the weather, or looking up at the sky, obviously, or, you know, taking in the surroundings, or just laying down around and about. But there are people within the residential area that are behind you, where you can see that they seem to be there's a bunch of like long tables that are randomly set up, almost like in a park would be, and there's a lot of these people that are like sitting down, and you can see at the end of the table there's like a little bit of a flag that hangs down that has like maybe like a clan's symbol on it, or a family sigil essentially is what the clan symbol would be. But people like sitting down eating or whatever. But for the most part, everybody that you see is not really paying too much mind to you, other than a quick look, maybe a couple looks of recognition of you, Moldrak, then people kind of give a nod.
Any negative reactions to Zarbrax?
No, doesn't appear to be. So maybe like a long couple of looks, and Zarbrax is like, they know.
You're fine.
I know.
You're with me. You're fine.
He's looking at me.
I don't care.
They definitely stare a little while at Trollonia too, as probably never seeing a turtle before, but
I'm not worried about him. I'm gonna, I guess, head to the royal quarters, like the palace type area, to maybe speak to the king's advisor or something.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Also, that's why we need the axe. That was it.
I'm gonna one at a time, one step at a time.
Making your way up, you kind of go down left and start heading up this path. You can start hearing the clanking of hammers that are echoing from underneath, resonating upward. Trollonia, for you, every place that you've been in within the last week with the people you found yourself with is just mind-blowing and changes your perspective on a lot of things, and making you realize that there's so much more in this world than just the grainy kind of sand desert and the bit of water that you had where you were. The amount of other nature, other cultures, the civilization, everything is very rich and different everywhere you have been. Within here, all of the dwarves militantly walking around. You can see that there are some of the dwarven guard. They have their helmets on towards their faces, kind of coming all the way down almost to their upper lip area. Over the sides, you can see that it has like the Valkyrie type wings on the sides of the head. They're wearing their full dwarven plate with the symbol of Yoltgard on their chest. Some of them even wear a kind of amulet of Moradin. Not thinking they're paladins, but they just worship Moradin, much like somebody would just like wear a cross. As you're walking up into that area, you make your way up, and there is this large open area up at the top in between the royal quarters and where the military is. The military is just like this huge stone wall that has like 8 or so steel doors upon it, that some of them are open, some are closed. You can see barred windows up at the top. And the barred windows, it doesn't seem to be a jail. It's actually seemingly to be a bunch of barracks and rooms. You can imagine that there's probably at least 500 or more guards and, soldiers that reside within those bunks. But you pass probably a good 30 or so on the way. None of them seem to stop you or give you too much of a look until you start to actually make your way over towards the royal quarters, and you can see that the 6 or so guards that are out front. Also, there's no seats or anything over there. They're all just standing upright militantly, awaiting, whatever is coming their direction. In the time that you're walking over there, you can see 6 or so guards from the military side are making their way over and are kind of like a little bit ahead of you to where they beat you over there and switch shift with the guards that are there who go to the other side. As you're walking up, the one guard seems to be setting his hammer at his side and going over down towards his belt to kind of fasten it a little bit better and pull it more taut.
Approach slowly, as to not,
Right. Then he looks up and grabs the hammer as he pulls it up. Doesn't lift up his weapons towards the 3 of you, but...
Hello.
Greetings. Welcome to Yold Guard.
Thank you.
What can I help you with?
It's been quite a while. My name is Moldrak.
The Mighty.
You've heard of me?
Sure have. A pleasure to have you here in Yold Guard.
Good to meet you. I'm here to possibly speak to some sort of advisor. I'm sure the king is far too busy. Maybe somebody of the courts is available. I don't know who to go and speak to necessarily.
I'll walk in, see if I can get you an audience with at least someone. I'm sure that they'll make time for the keeper of Zaxria.
Thank you. It would be appreciated.
And he kind of looks back at Zarvarex.
Is he okay? He's
Are you
he's a keeper too.
It's on the wanted board.
Zarvarex? Zarvarex Stormborn, eh? Yeah. You watch him reaching towards his back a little bit, over towards the thing, and he's like, Trollonia, get ready to kill these people. Trollonia, get ready to kill them.
How do you know him?
The stories all throughout the Old Guard of him cutting down the frigid death.
Oh.
He goes, with this axe! I did.
You can put your axe away, Zarvarex.
He puts it down. I'll be sure to let the king know that you're here.
Okay. Yeah. It would be appreciated.
He turns back around. Trollonia, be ready to kill anyone.
Trollonia, you don't have to be ready to kill anyone.
Anyone
No one.
will die.
I'll be. I don't know how to mention all this stuff without sounding crazy.
The large steel doors that are there kind of
You might have
open up.
No, you're not.
There's a little bit of a sliding of stone as well beneath the steel that's there. You eventually get up to a point of maybe 5 or so minutes before you walk back, and the same guard makes his way out the other side. King Bertrand the Old will see you now.
Oh. Okay. Great. Got it. Right through there?
He just kind of reaches his hand back, pointing in the direction of the steps leading up.
Alright. Yeah, I'll head in.
Okay.
Once I get in, I'll bow.
Alright, once you make your way inside, you are going up and into a large throne room that has, it's probably a good 80 foot long. It's not too wide, but at the end of it, it's opened up to where there's these stone steps leading upward. They're almost in this half square kind of shape, or a square without the back end of it where the throne sits against the wall. The throne itself is carved into the wall, and you can see that there is the sigil of Bertrand Yold and the Yold Guard, where there's that large ram's head that is normally upon a lot of the things that you find from Yold Guard. The symbol of Moradin is not really mixed within the actual symbol for the kingdom, but there is that ram that sits above in the banner. Sitting there with his arms rested on the sides, a little bit of a lean. You can see holding in one hand he has a kind of golden plated goblet that he seems to be resting. You can see that there's like a little bit of liquid that spills from the side as he takes it up towards his face and drinks it before setting it down to the side, and one of maybe like a servant walks over and grabs it and sets it down onto a tray and goes over to a keg that you can see that's on the wall. This room itself looks like there's a lot of stains and stuff on the floor. There's broken glass in some spots that seems to be being cleaned up as well, possibly from a feast that occurred within the hall itself. But as he leans over on the side, Moldrak, welcome back to Yodgard.
I give a bow. Good to see you.
And for you, Zavrax. He reaches back a little bit towards his axe.
I whack his hand.
It is a pleasure to have another keeper within our midst. And you might be? And he points over towards you, Trollonia.
I'm Trollonia.
This is Trollonia. He's a friend of ours.
You are welcome. If you are a friend of the keepers, you are a friend of Yodgard.
So I'm actually going to, because I don't have, I know he's an important person, but I don't know,
Okay.
So I'm going to walk up to him. I'm going to use my Intuit to detect his alignment.
Okay. How close do you have to get?
It doesn't say, but as he's extending his hand, I'm going to kind of...
He's up on a throne, 50 feet away from you, yelling out towards you.
I wouldn't have let Trollonia get that close.
What do you got going on?
Well,
what's the Intuit thing say? What we see? You might be able to just see them and know. I think it might be this one.
Within eyesight.
Yep, so you can just use it as bonus action.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will do that.
The alignment you detect from him is lawful good.
Okay.
What brings you to Yodgard, keepers and friend?
Yes. Is there, looking around the chamber, is there guards? Is there other people talking?
There's probably about 10 or so other serving people walking around, people cleaning, picking things up. There's also maybe 4 or 5 guards, but they're guards that you don't know them by name, but you recognize their faces. They're probably the King's Guard, or specific to him, and he's had them for a while.
King Yold, if we may approach, this is a topic that requires some privacy or tact in discussion.
Well, if you would like, we can go back to the chamber room and discuss.
If it would, if it were.
Most certainly.
All right.
It's not every day the keepers come to Yodgard, so it must be important, whatever it is. I know that the way that times are all the ways, there's never really social visits, so we can get down to business.
Once we kind of head in, to jump to the point, there's a few reasons why we're here. Firstly, I'm sure you've maybe heard or seen signs of something coming to Zaxria.
Heard stories, at least. Didn't know how much truth was in them, but...
we've been fighting on some front lines, as it were. We know of an event to come on the blood moon of the 80th year. We're talking an eradication level event. We do not wish to come and cause panic. We simply wish each kingdom to be fully ready for this coming of what it may be.
What do you need of Yodgard?
We only ask you to fight, to defend your kingdom and all of Zaxria.
I promise you that there will be no issue with us fighting.
All right. Yes, we simply wish you to have all the preparation time that you can get, because, all of the kingdoms need to be ready.
I appreciate you coming here man to man and telling me.
We are here on some other business as well, which may be, I don't even know if you can truly help us with this. We're seeking out a weapon.
Aye.
Zarvarax here would know a little bit more about it than I.
If you need something dwarven forged,
It's,
it's the best kind of steel to have.
from what I'm told, quite ancient. It's one that already exists.
Alright. He kind of,
Um,
at this point, leans back
I don't remember.
while folding his arms.
Zarvarax, no, I don't remember the name of it. It's called the,
Storm's Rage.
it's called Storm's Rage. Said that the,
I've heard stories of it. Our own scholar that is within the city, or has been for a little bit of time, Delbert Flemings, wrote a book on these artifacts.
we've read it.
The axe head that he wrote about in his books wasn't here during my reign, at least. From what I know, it was stolen during the eradication.
Okay. Did we know that already, or is he?
You didn't.
Okay. Storms.
During the eradication, there were demons, obviously, that attacked Zaxria, of all sorts of kinds. However, what many people don't know is that there are minions to these demons. Strong, powerful.
Fought a few.
Those that attacked Guard were after specific things. Our metals, prized possessions, even the stone that creates this kingdom. Aye, it is. What came for us is, I wouldn't say our demon kin, but if there's a dwarf that's a demon other than a Durgar, it's a fire giant.
Fire giant.
And I'm quite positive that when they came here to Guard, they stole the axe head from above the throne. And you can see as when you were in the actual throne, if you would have taken a glance over the top of it, there is like 2 metal brackets that come off that would have been holding it in place. However, it's been more than 2 centuries almost.
Okay. 2 centuries. Well, this has been actually more help than it might seem.
What are you looking for the axe head for?
Well, I don't wish to mince my words with you, King Yold. We wish to reassemble the weapon and use it in the coming fight. Zavrax here is blessed by what is he, the Storm Lord? Karanos? And hopefully he will be able to use it to great avail.
Yeah. Well, if that side of the story is true, then good luck to you.
If,
We were always told that it was an axe of Moradin.
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
maybe it is.
we won't get into it. There has been many a debate over many a year, and
Maybe they've comboed them.
it will not be a discussion we'll have.
Right, yes, of course.
Zarek said, well, this is Karanos. So.
We spent 2 hours really just arguing with himself.
But hopefully the information does you good. I have no sentiment to it.
Well,
But if you do find it, I know it'll be in good hands and strong hands.
we have no, way of knowing how to assemble it. We may come back and require your possible aid in that regard.
Well, if you do, if you need anything at any time, the Kingdom of Guard will do what it can.
Thank you. Well, we don't wish to take up any more of your time. So, hope everything is going well.
Steady.
Good.
Everything remains the same and work gets done. That's all we can ask for.
Aye. Right. Well, we will leave you to your work, as it were.
All right.
Anything you need of us while we're here?
He stands up and extends his arm out to each of you. A pleasure, Trollonia. If you bear any other titles, but Trollonia it is. Do we?
Oh yeah, I guess I can ask. How is Orm doing? Is he well? Oh no.
Orm Hammerfell.
Yes.
He hasn't been in the old guard for some time.
Oh.
He led for a little while the wings of the old down into the mines, defeated the Dorgar, spent some time learning more of Moradin, went on a bit of a pilgrimage, if you would, after the death of his mother.
Yeah.
He brought his father to justice for dealing with the Dorgar, and his twin brothers, well, triplets, the two of them run the Hammerfell gem business now. But Torm and Orm, yes. And Orm is on a pilgrimage, I believe, and I've not seen him since.
I hope he's doing well. King, I have one more small favor to ask you. Could we perhaps get a passage on the wings to our home, or closer to it? Maybe just out of the mountains, as it's a treacherous journey.
I think the wings could use some spreading.
All right.
I'll see what I can
No, it's not.
can ask. I'm sure that they will have no
anything
problem
would help.
doing so.
Thank you.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Now I am going to.
Is there something else?
Yes. We recently traveled with, in more, a bit of darker news, recently traveled with a group of paladins, and I wish to visit their graves. They were brought back here and given service, but we could not attend.
Alright. Well, they're buried outside the mountains. Probably about a day or so to travel, maybe less.
Okay.
But with the wings, I'm sure we can make a detour.
Thank you. And I give another bow before leaving. Alright, let's go.
I'll make arrangements. They'll meet you out at the front gate.
Alright. Thank you. Alright, well.
I feel when we thought going into the Sea of Souls was the hardest part of that act.
Well, Rex, I don't know a lot about fire giants.
Where do we find them?
I don't know. Maybe hell. Maybe the plane of fire. Probably the plane of fire. Maybe hell. I fought a... For what?
Your fire, you're like...
Oh, I fought two, like, massive fire elementals. But for now, we can just go back and hopefully Connor might know something about them.
Alright, I'm not reading anymore, so
That's fair. I don't...
we can wait.
It's not my thing either.
I'm gonna go in my bed.
Right.
When we get back, obviously,
Yeah.
because it's not here.
Alright, well, we can, I guess we don't really need the cold weather clothes for Trollonia anymore. Alright, let's follow me to the front gate, guys. This was a quicker trip than I thought.
Okay, and with that, just jump a little bit to you guys being able to be flown there. And Trollonia, you are greeted at the front gate by three, the stuff just keeps coming, man.
Yeah.
Three dwarven individuals make their way up towards the front, and walking behind them you can see armored griffins standing behind them, that they're like walking up with reins. As they walk up, the three of them just seem to be some of the wings. None of them seem to be the actual like wingmaster that you had met that originally helped you fly over to the temple that Tenebris was in.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the three of them are like, "You call for some griffins."
Indeed we did.
All right,
Nice to see you.
you as well. They do need a little bit of stretching and exercise, so we can bring you wherever you need to go.
Great. Yes.
We were told you needed to make a stop at the burial ground.
Indeed.
Alright, well, once we leave there, just let us know where you need us to bring you and we can.
Alright. Well, are you guys ready to set out, or do you need to make preparations?
They're just grabbing a couple of packs of supplies, and once they get back, we'll be good.
Okay.
You can see an extra group of soldiers are kind of walking over with a cart that they're pushing, almost like a wheelbarrow that has backpacks on them. The backpacks, however, have these big straps that come across. They kind of plop it on the back and then strap and tie that down. You can see the saddles themselves have the main one that's up kind of more towards the back neck area, and then there's one that sits a little higher up for like a passenger type seat. All three of you are able to jump and sit onto the wings of the griffins. Well, not the wings themselves, but on the backs. As they start to kind of walk out, you can feel the slight bobbing to each side with each step before they reach over and get to a cliff that's near where the one pathway that leads in, and they just kind of take 2, 3, 4 steps and fall off before kind of.
Have you ever ridden a horse before?
Yeah, they buckle up and kind of do this torpedo thing before they open their wings up with a good 2 or 3 flaps before getting up high enough you can feel the wind and cold air in your face. Initially, as you're doing the first dive, you can feel your stomach drop before it picks back up with you getting picked up and going amongst the mountains. You can see the snow slowly falling down upon it as you start to fly off and get over towards the top part before getting over a good distance. It's a little less than a day on the wings of Yold, on the griffins, so you are able to get to the burial ground.
Got it.
Landing down, you can see that this burial ground is marked pretty heavily. There are probably rows and rows and rows of it in this large bit of mountain that has like a crater at the top. Where it is, you can see in the center of it, there is this statue. It's probably a good 15 or so feet tall, and it's just of a dwarven individual, stocky, like holding a hammer and just kind of setting it down to the ground. All of the burial sites that you see are either some sort of a hammer that's there marking the tombstone that has like a stone pushed up around that to hold it in place. None of them really have too many, like, there's no names or anything written upon anything, but the ones where the paladins are buried, you can see that there are holy symbols attached to where they are of Moradin, along with a helmet that kind of signifies that it was a paladin. The paladins of Moradin don't have like the winged type of helmet that the old guards do. It's more of a just very rigid frame to it that you would have seen before, and you recognize them. You can see the one actually has one helmet down with like the kind of crossed warhammers at the back where you'd imagine a Jarbee's burial is. The shields and helmets kind of spread about where, you know, Hyde and the others would be. You take your time to walk over and remember the service that they did for you, and not just you, but Zaxria.
Yeah. I'll just use I'll just clear the snow off of the spots where they're at and just pray.
Once you clear the snow, you can actually see that there are these stone slabs, where you're imagining maybe like stone boxes or something are formed in the ground, and then they're placed in that instead of just the ground itself. And seeing like all of the bodies that are here, and assuming that there are stone slabs for them, you can see that the dwarfs have a ton of respect for the dead, or at least of their own.
Alright. After a good long time of just kind of kneeling down there and thinking to myself, I'll get up and head back to the Griffin Riders.
Alright. And they take you back to the estate after being guided to there.
Yeah.
It's probably only going to take you probably like 4 days camping with them in between and doing whatever you need to do.
During those 4 days, can I don't think I ever actually found out what that orb.
Oh, you want to look into it a little more? Okay.
If I can because I have the time to pull it out and look at it.
So for probably the second night or so that you camp down, you remember having it and just kind of pull it from your bag and hold it. It is this very, very smooth, dark black orb that has like a small bit of a sheen to it, like it kind of shines just a little bit, almost like a glass marble type of orb would, as you're sitting there holding it. If you would, just go ahead and roll a d20, and what kind of check do we want to make this? Let's make it insight.
Money. That is a natural 20 plus 15, so 35.
Okay. Looking into this, what you are holding is essentially a like a soul orb. It's the orb, like the soul itself is of that shadow demon that you killed. You're not 100% sure why or how you have this, but you are very confident that the soul of that creature is not back in the hells or was like pulled back down or is anywhere else, but you are holding the very like life force of it and have a soul within your hand. What you can do with it or what can happen to it, you're unsure, but you are holding it right now.
Is it similar to my necklace where it can be like discharged, used, and then
You think it could be, but you are confident, like with your insight check too, that the creature inside of there is just innately evil and dark.
So there would be, I would think there wouldn't be a way to control it if I let it out.
Right. Yeah. It may have its use in the future at some point, but you're also very confident with your natural 20. I'll give you this too, that something that you did caused this to happen to it.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So you guys making your way back to the estate. We are going to jump over to Azrael and Neris within Teneveth. What would you like to do while you are here, or are you just heading to the estate?
I'm gonna stop by and see that High Priestess.
Okay. Neris is like, I'm going to let Wraith spread his wings. Whenever you're ready, I'll be out front. This place gives me the creeps. She walks to the front. You make your way to the gold-lit sanctum. You actually have to find your way back to where her chambers is, knocking on the door. There's just a moment before she makes her way out within her full formal kind of robes. You can see the golden tattoos that she has down her arms. She's standing there. Azrael?
I'm just passing by, but I just wanted to check in on things. Make sure everything is going all right.
It is. I will inform you, though, that our recent captor is no longer on this plane, if you would. The questioning ran out, and he was no longer seemingly going to be telling us anything more.
Send the bastard back to where he belongs.
Hopefully worse.
Send him to heaven. Whoop his ass up
Are there
there.
any other news of future events to come?
As of now, no. We've sent the paladins and priests to the north, as you had told us, of the portal that was there. We haven't heard news back from them. I'm sure we'll be hearing something any day now. We're making preparations all over as we can. Zaphiel has given us warning of what is to come, as you also have heard. The portal that we found, you had originally found to Phlegethos, that was within the Temple of Yarina. We're having trouble closing it, but we think we're getting to a point where we may be close. Still working on it, but no real new developments.
We just recently split up. I believe Moldrak and Zarbrax and our companion Trollonia went to Yolgard. So I'm assuming they're going to warn them and make sure they're prepared.
Who else have you told?
We stopped by, I believe Connor told Southbrook when he went. We took a detour into, pardon me the name, the Elven Kingdom.
Venore.
I don't recall if we stopped washed out. For Neris' business, we go to the Fae.
Hmm.
But yeah, we had slain some evil in the Fae. Acquired a really powerful artifact, and so that should aid us.
Good. I'm sure that there are more artifacts, as we were told you, of all over Zaxria that are going to help in what is to come. And I do believe when the time comes and we get closer to the day, as I think most of us agreed, a good amount of our forces should be here. I'm sure the other kingdoms can fare with a little bit more help, but if you could be here to help with that onslaught.
I'll be here as I was all those years ago.
And I think without you we would be not standing here today, so I'm sure we'll need you again. Where is everyone else? You said that
Yeah,
Moldrak and them were in the old guard.
Connor and Ander stayed behind at, I'm gonna say Arkanroy.
She knows that's Mark, right?
Connor's preparing some new magic, I believe. Not sure exactly what, but he's also dealing with stuff with the astral seed. I don't know all that stuff.
I do not either.
Higher level magic, I can understand. But everyone's preparing in their own right for what's to come.
Good. It's good to hear. As I said, we're doing what we can here, and if there's anything we can do for all of you, let us know. The time soon, I think, will be upon us, where we can at least prepare you with your artifacts that we have created. We only have a few, but I think that they'll be powerful enough to at least tip the scales in our favor.
They will certainly help. As you are helping us, don't forget that we can also help you if you need anything. If you need word sent somewhere quick, or whatever you need.
I will let you know.
There's some work that needs to be done. We're kind of tight schedule right now, so
Very well, I understand. It's good to see you.
take care.
Alright, you make your way out. Get on Wraith's back if you're leaving, and fly off.
That nest big enough to like land in with us on top.
Is what?
Isn't
The
nest
yeah,
on us?
there's it's like a big ass like opening, and then you can just kind of like he just flops right into it.
Land in there, like an airport.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like.
Got one of the guards up there.
Bring her in.
As we're approaching, I'm not sure I'll see anything, but just as a precautionary measure, I'm gonna have them do a lap, kind of somewhat around the perimeter, kind of a far distance, just to take a look, make sure no camps are being set up around, or no one's been, doesn't look like anyone's been spying or around the house or anything.
Make a perception check.
It's a good call.
21. Okay. Alright, as you kind of do like a kind of half circle around, you look back and you can see somebody in the field is like running, and they look like they're running like away from the estate, and they have something like over their shoulder.
That's interesting.
Kill him now.
Kill him.
Literally.
Look like he's still somewhat close to it. Like there's no other place he could have came
Yeah,
from.
there's no other place he could have came from.
I'll look there. I don't know if I need to yell at Daenerys.
You'd have to yell because you're like flying right now, yeah. It's like
Just point it out to her.
yeah. She's like,
He was down there.
what? What? Oh! And she like kind of leans. She's like, Wraith, down there. He's like, and then kind of locks his wings up and starts flying down. What are we doing?
So just land by him. I don't know what's going on.
You feel Wraith's wings do one more like flap, and then there's just like this like glide down next to it before there's this of him like harsh landing in front. The individual drops the bag. You can't see the face because it's kind of covered. Drops the bag down, and you see dropping from the bag there's like food and a couple of like silverware and like a candelabra type of thing that falls from the thing. As it does, he like pushes his hands back and then like starts to try to stuff the bag and grabs a like candlestick and just chucks it at Wraith and then throws the satchel over his shoulder and starts to, and it like hits Wraith, and Wraith is just like looks up at Neris and she's like
Slide off.
Somebody needs to be pleased.
Dragon.
yeah, dude, stay back, I've got a he grabs like a butter knife from the bag. You can see it, the hood is still down in front of him.
Brought a knife to a gunfight. Oh no. It's doomed.
I want no trouble.
That's right. You don't want trouble. And then at this point, the hood kind of falls back. You can see a dirtied face, hair kind of tossed and pushed back.
What's going on there?
Nothing. I'm just making my way through. And you landed in front of me and scared me. That's all.
What you got? What you got in the bag?
Just my stuff is all. Just traveling along, yeah.
Where are you going?
He starts kind of like making steps to go around Wraith and head like west, it seems. Just off this direction here. And then he like, looks back behind him to check the bag.
Kind of like walk. Act like I'm just kind of like casually walking, but like kind of like go walk around the other side of him.
Okay.
Not making eye contact.
Yeah. He like sees you going that way and doesn't even pay any attention, then points over towards Wraith. Everyone just stay back and let me go on my way now. Everything will be alright. No worries about anything.
So, what are we doing out here?
Camping.
Really?
Right.
You don't have any supplies to camp?
No, I've got all the essentials. And as he turns, you see like a plate kind of fall from the ground. He just picks it up and sees it's wooden, and then just leaves it. I'll leave that there.
It's a very lavish lifestyle for camp.
I like to be comfortable out here. Leave me alone now. At this point, he's like a good 20 or so steps away from where Wraith is, and Wraith is at this point just like laid down and put his head down, and Neris is like leaned down.
It's just, I'm just really confused because the only thing out here is in my house.
Your house? I mean, there's no house out here. I didn't see a house. Oh, that house there. Right. Look.
I think I might have eaten off that plate.
There's an M on it. It's a Moldrak plate.
How'd you acquire?
That's where we get all our senses
supplies
over.
from my
Well, if I were to say how I got them, that would imply that I took them. But these are my things, and I'm just passing through, as I said.
I'm not even here, dude.
He's still like,
keep putting the candles out.
I thought I had a knife. Throws it in the bag and like kind of shuffles around. Don't come any closer, or I'll. And he pulls out like a weird looking spoon that's a little bent. It probably got broke in the bag.
It's definitely
Where you come from?
this guy
Where you from, man?
Craydoon, or at least it was for a little while.
You need supplies? You homeless?
I got supplies here in the bag, man. Just let me go.
You realize who you're stealing from, right?
Whoever you are, and that lady, and dragon, I guess.
He really lax about it.
He's
Stealing from a
chill
dragon.
as hell about the dragon business.
But I'm not stealing. These are my things.
You're not making a very convincing argument. I know
Neris at this point is like, oh, just shoot him already. Please, I'm tired of this. Or we'll just have Wraith eat him. It's like, that's not necessary. These are my things, and I'm
As much as
on my way.
thieves out there, I don't think that's the keeper way to handle things.
Keeper.
Throw him in a dungeon
Classic.
forever.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take you
Torture.
to the keep.
Yes.
Well, how about No, that's not necessary. Look, I'm sorry. Times is just hard, and he puts the spoon in and takes the bag and just kind of like drops it in front of him. Stuff pours out of it, plates, cups, and silverware, kind of decorations that are sort of metallic too. And you know that they're from the estate just because there's not a whole lot of decor inside of the estate itself. And then you see that he also has this kind of picture frame, and then also dropping out from it is like a couple of things from like rooms, you think, maybe a couple of books. Like it's like a heavy bag that he was like lugging along like this. But as he drops it out, it all just kind of like splashes down onto the ground.
Oh, come on, man. Why'd you have to dump it on the ground?
I'm sorry. Look, just let me go and have your things back. It's just
Take the fucking
difficult times.
one.
He turns around at this point and it's like slowly walking while looking back every now and then.
Where are the guards?
Back in theirs. What do you think we should do?
I'm not quite sure. Did sound fun for Wraith to eat him, but
We just surrendered our goods back. Is it worth it?
I'd say no. He seems harmless, but what do I know? I feel different. I feel like before I would have just shot him with the bow, but
Really on that.
yeah. Wraith walks over and like shoves his nose against the stuff and puts it in the bag, and then takes his claw and then bites it into his mouth where he holds it, and then starts walking back to the estate with it.
It's about to get Rick on start.
Man down those look trying to make easy money.
Well, I fear that that won't be the last of ransacking and looting that's going to occur if anybody finds out what's going on in the world.
It's good to know that we need to be more aware of this around the estate.
Yeah. Maybe the guards that were there left or something, I'm not quite sure. Or he got past them.
Could have snuck in. A lot to sneak around though.
Yeah.
No, maybe
Still see
something.
tents out front, so it's a big estate. I'm sure that the 3 or so that were left there probably didn't do anything.
Maybe something. Well, I'm not there.
Hope the guards aren't trying to make their own money.
That would be a matter entirely different.
Dead.
Alright, well, we'll step back, see what's going on.
Very well. Walking back, you're a good, maybe 200, 300 yards from the estate, but there's nothing around the estate for miles, even a day travel, and you're just getting to the keep. Once you get back, the tents out front, one of them seems to just kind of be like pushed in, like it just hasn't been used in a while. You can see that there's actually like kind of like garbage a little bit out front, like bones from like chicken or something, cups that are kind of knocked around and sitting about. There is commotion that you can see inside of one of the tents, like a guard maybe like rolling around and readjusting while he's sleeping in a bedroll. The door itself is like slightly cracked open, and then everything out front, like nothing looks broken or shattered, but the front just kind of looks like dirtied, I guess, like a campsite that just wasn't cleaned up.
I'll walk over that tent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey!
What the
Where the hell are all the other guards?
I don't know, everyone left at a party like we had a gathering out front like 3 days ago. Everyone kind of went back. Harker called for them all to come back, so that we needed training. I just didn't feel good. I was asleep in the tent. Figured nobody would miss me, so I've just
Too
been
much partying, huh?
probably.
Get the hell out of here. Go back to the keep.
Alright. pulls his pants up and walks out of the tent.
All I said.
You wouldn't happen to have a horse, would you? Long.
Don't have any extras. Sorry.
What about some food, maybe? For the journey back?
Some on the ground.
Water?
Do you not have any supplies in your tent?
I think everything got eaten at the party, to be honest. Oh, the gathering that we had up front. No worries. It's alright. I'll be on my way. You can see by the look on your face that it's like no interest. Can we shoot him?
Definitely not
Withdrawing.
sure. Look at his punishment, actually.
You open up the door, and there is glass immediately when you walk in at the front that seems to be broken, maybe from a vase or something. The dining room over to the right looks like one of the chair legs may be broken.
They let the homunculi out.
The side, like, lounge type area, like once you walk in, like from the sanctum, there's like the study over to the side. The door there is like wide open. It looks like the books or whatever books may have been on the shelf, like random books that got placed up there, are just kind of knocked on the ground. You're not 100% sure if all of it was just from them or if some of it was from the burglary that had occurred. But there's also the bag that's sitting next to where the kitchen is that Wraith just kind of set there that has a bunch of stuff on it. There are scraps and such that are on the floor and all about, which makes you think that the cleaning homunculi are no longer in there. You're unsure if the chef cooking type ones are still there or not.
Better be there.
But immediately walking in, it does not look like the state is in good shape.
Yeah, yell out just to be told. Is there anyone else in here that better come out now?
Silent.
You have a hole in your suit.
Doesn't seem like anybody else.
We're headed to the forge.
Mhm.
Supplies and everything are still there.
I think that's locked. So.
Yeah, there's a... I don't think it's locked, but the door itself is quite heavy, and it doesn't look like anybody like opened it or messed with it.
We have
vault.
We have keys for it.
Well, the vault that goes downstairs, I think, is
I
locked.
know I at least have a key. I think we made another. I thought we made another key.
Because the workshop, they can.
Well, the forge, I think, is in the workshop. No, it's not. It's separate.
I don't
Somebody's
know.
got the blue. Somebody's got the floor plan.
I thought we did put it.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure you did.
I have the floor.
Maybe we did it.
Yeah,
I don't know
pretty
where
sure.
we added
needed,
the.
we needed ventilation for the forge. Fair. Makes sense.
Workshop,
The
apothecary.
workshop we can lock.
Well, the workshop has ventilation too, because of all the apothecary shit you were planning on doing.
I don't know. I don't know where the forge was on here, so.
I think I wrote it on mine. However, making your way to those rooms, the workshop itself, that room has a lock on it, but I don't think anybody said they were locking it when they left. So the door is open. Tools are kind of all over the place. You can see a couple of things are taken, like maybe some like spanner type wrenches, files maybe are missing. There's some maybe like clamp type
Harker's
of
about to get roasted.
things that are missing. There are glass vials that are broken. One of the vials that are broken may have like powder or something that was in it that's all over the floor. Everything kind of looks like it's a mess. And you're also thinking that there could be some stuff in that bag, and you make your way back over to it while bringing it over, and there's like 3 or 4 iron bars that are inside of it that you just kind of return to where it was. A lot of the stuff that's like near the forge though, like the raw metal, doesn't seem touched because it's so damn heavy. Everything is just kind of all over the place, like somebody was rifling through shit to find something.
Fucking A. Just add another thing to the list.
Kill every guard and keep the
Time of day? Well, it takes you a few days to get back from Tenebeth. But when you get back, let me make sure I have the timeline right here. So it takes you about a day and a half to get back, so you would have had to make one of your rolls there. But when you get back, it's probably like 5 or 6 in the afternoon.
I need to go make a stop at the keep real quick.
Right.
You need anything over here?
No,
Fucking homuncular still here to make food.
I'm not sure. Maybe
You can see those ones.
either Wraith can stay here or me and Wraith can stay here and make sure nobody else comes and tries to loot again. It's starting to get dark out. If you'd like to go to the keep.
Does being in the Fey affect like the cooldown of items or anything? I don't have to wait either.
Because if the time would have changed, it would have, but it didn't. There was no change of time, so it wouldn't have affected it.
I can't use my steeds for another couple days, I believe.
Ooh.
I mean, if you want to stay, I don't know if Wraith would feel about being without you. If you want to take me there.
It's just to the keep, right?
Actually, you have a order symbol.
Well, what do you say we just maybe cool off a little and clean up a bit, and then with a level head go and speak with whoever it is you wanted to speak with. Kind of tired. I'm sure Wraith is as well. Unless you wanted to go now, but he's been flying quite a bit.
It's fine.
All right.
I'll go to the kitchen first.
Mm-hmm.
Open the door.
Tell me
In
the
the
ways
back.
are there.
Homie?
Don't do it.
Doesn't seem there's any homunculi in here.
Those are the
There
expensive
is a good amount of storage things that are missing as well.
Oh, I'm about to beat some ass.
So
You couldn't just leave
if
it
you
alone.
have the
You can have my
sheet that has all of your supplies on it, that is like within your storage, if you'd let me know what it is, and then I can
don't know.
tell you what would
I don't
be.
think I ever had that written
I
down.
have it written on the back of one of the floor plans. I don't know if it's the one I gave you
Oh.
or if it's the one I have.
Nope. Oh wait, no, I don't have it.
I believe it's on the back of one of them.
It's not on the back of these ones.
I don't know if I have it.
I do not remember us getting anything.
Yeah, we didn't write any.
Yeah, there should have been stuff. I put like an initial.
Oh, we just had like
I think we just gave our crew one and told them to give it.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have anything in there, or much.
No, I mean we got to restock it now.
Yeah, well, looking at it for sure,
Got some lots.
Azrael, there's a lot of stuff that was used.
Sentry turret.
There is a lot of stuff.
Never even stepped
There's a few bottles of like liquor back there that are just not there anymore, like at all. The barrels of water that were back there are still pretty intact, but it seems like the food supply was pretty heavily ransacked, which makes you think that either the guards that were there really got into the supply, or this has been looted quite a bit. But by the looks of it, you're imagining that the guards probably got into the food quite a bit more than anything. They were told to eat whatever, but you think that the gathering or party that they had really did a number on the supply there.
Start just cleaning up some things. Unwind for the night.
Alrighty. Okay.
Also, make a list of everything I know of that's missing.
Okay. Gotcha. So, as for everybody else, as you guys are making your way back on the wings of Yold, Connor and Ander within Arkanoria, staying and preparing, getting more knowledge with your apothecary stuff. you returning to the ransacked estate to deal with that when the time comes. We will pick it up right there when we get back next week. Thanks again for watching. If you are watching and not following, please be sure to, so you get put in the giveaway. Once we get 100 followers, you can get a guide or a copy of Xanthar's Guide to Everything. If you're subscribing, you get put in the giveaway for a chance at a voucher for a custom mini from Hero Forge. Also, be sure to check out the YouTube. There are VODs on there all the way up till episode 67. This is episode 72, I believe. There's also podcasts, other D&D games, board game stuff. Be sure to check it out. Thank you. Take it easy.
Is there an end scene? I don't know if we did that.
Yeah, there is.